a student of Federal University Lokoja from Kogi State, Nigeria, and my SDG of interest is SDG 13, that's climate action. My journey so far and my experience so far, the journey throughout the SDG Advocate program, it has been impactful and inspiring. What stands out was learning from stakeholders and making changes and making people to see hope, and also young minds interested in being advocates for sustainability for the future. And also the most impactful moments of the activity, the most significant that had more impact on me was our community-based projects and the Own a School initiative, because I had the privilege of engaging with students, youths, and some stakeholders on pressing issues, exchanging ideas with them, and also looking for possible collaborations to see that we can drive a sustainable environment. Then my contribution to the change of the program, I would say in my own little way, I have contributed in the field of advocacy because I am inspired to carry out more advocacy and educate young minds about the sustainable development goals, its aim, mission, and vision towards the attainment of the 2030 agenda, and also catching the young minds young. Then my message, a word of advice and encouragement to the general public on the importance of sustainability and development action. The communities and the general public, is important to keep a sustainable future, because when we have a sustainable future, we know that yes, we are not eating from what we are going to enjoy in the future, and we are not causing harm or shortening the ration of the future endeavors. And my appreciation, I'm going to close by expressing my appreciation and sincere gratitude to the organizers of the UN SDSN Youth Cohort 7 Advocacy Program, the organizers, the partners, and also the mentors, and everyone, the partners who supported us through the journey, the state team leads for their tireless effort, team members, fellow advocates. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Hello, my name is Oneluni Sulaiman Buluwatife, a change maker and SDG advocate from Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. Yeah, one of the core value that guide my leadership journey is change making rooted in service, especially toward achieving sustainable development goals with a strong focus on SDG 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 4, quality education. So this value became central to me because of my personal experience in my community. Growing up in Zaria, I witnessed how marginalized group like children, young girl, low-income families struggle to access quality education and basic health information. One moment that shaped me was when I supported a small community outreach program in a settlement where many young people had dropped out from school due to poverty. So during my journey, I met a young boy who told me he wanted to be a doctor, but he had no access to textbook or mentors. So that moment helped me realize that opportunity is not equally distributed, but leadership can help to break the gap. So since then, I have committed myself to being a change maker. So my goal is to continue driving meaningful impact in Zaria and across northern Nigeria by creating space where marginalized youths thrive, stay healthy, and remain in school. Thank you very much. Once again, to express myself.
Hello, my name is Aisha Sani Abukar, and I'm a proud participant of the SDG COHORT Advocate Program, Lagos State Chapter. I am based in Lagos, and my SDG of interest is SDG 4, Education, and SDG 5, Gender Equality. This has been a great experience for me. Started with a master class. I was able to learn a lot about climate actions and green economy. That for me was a major shift to understand how it impacts the economy and our society in general. For my own school project, going back to my mama after 15 years to teach the student of Daily Comprehensive College about SDG goals was a major win. I went in there with the student telling me, if you don't know what SDG goals are, to them promising to create an SDG club, which you're already working on. That for me is a key major shift. Also, for the community advocacy, being elected as the lead for partnership and donor relations, working with amazing 4 ladies to come up with proposals and bring in key partners like Iyewo Medicals, Ministry of Environment, Lauma, Sadico Foundation, Karim's Essence, and others was a great win for me because they did not just come as our partners, they were able to support us to ensure that our community advocacy was a huge success. For me, this advocacy program has been a major shift in how I see life situation. It has been a transformational experience for me. It has taught me leadership, servant leadership. It has taught me that you don't have to have much to inspire change. A big shout out to the state lead furtherly, David, Timilein, Amina, Mide, Fatima, Zainab, and all COHORT advocates. It was really great doing this with you all. Thank you SDGsAP for this great opportunity, for giving us the opportunity to be able to inspire change. With the little we have, we're able to add value to others, give people hope that the world can be a better place. 2030 is just 5 years to go. To 2030 agenda. It simply means the clock is ticking. To everyone watching this, I want you to know that you can inspire change. You just need to believe that you can do it. You don't need to have much. With no little amount of money, all you need just to show up and be willing to do it, because we all need to inspire change. The world needs us. The society needs us. Give the children access to education. Give a girl child access to education. Let's work on gender equality. Let's work on climate action, because we know that we all can do it. For me, my goal is to go global, but I know I need to start from the grassroots, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Besta Chima. I am a science laboratory technology professional and precisely chemistry biochemistry. I'm also an SDG advocate. I'm from Abia State but currently living in Port Harcourt, River State. The SDG I am passionate about is SDG 3, which talks about good health and well-being. So, being part of the SDG Advocate Program has been a life-changing experience for me. Each phase opened my eyes and taught me how small actions can create big impact. The trainings, they were very practical, they were very inspiring, and it helped me turn knowledge into real community actions. The moment that touched me most was the own school project. That is, standing in front of students, sharing what I have learned with them, and also seeing their excitement made the journey real for me and more meaningful. It builds my confidence and strengthens my passion for advocacy. For my own school project, I visited a school and sensitized students on healthy living, on personal hygiene, and how their daily choices affect their future in life. I also listened to them and answered their questions and encouraged them to become young champions of SDGs. I am proud that my visit made a positive impact with them. So my message to every one of us now is this, that sustainable development starts with you. The little things you do every day matters a lot in life. So when we all work together, we can create a healthier and more inclusive world. I sincerely appreciate the program organizers, the partners, the mentors, and everyone who supported my journey. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for listening to my SDG Impact story. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Magdalene Chebu. I'm a corporate researcher and chemist. and I'm honored to be part of the Code 7 SDSN Youth Nigeria from Delta State. Um, so my journey has to be it was transformative, it was impactful, and I learned a lot right from the training session to the UNESCO project, the VA, and lastly the community-based project. I learned that SDG is not just a policy statement, it is a call to action for our local communities. My most impactful moment has to be the community-based projects here in Delta State. Ours was tagged by the girl child, by the girl campaign, and being able to put these sanitary kits into the hands of these girl children and teaching them that their biology is not a barrier and it's not something to be ashamed of. We broke the silence, we smashed the stigma, and we empowered the girl child to stay in school and stay confident. If there's one thing I would leave with you, it would be that um, you do not need to be wealthy or powerful to make a difference. Sustainable development starts with the person in the mirror. I want to sincerely thank the SDSN Youth Nigeria for this platform. It has been an impactful and exciting journey. So let's keep advocating and let's keep transforming our world. Thank you.
Hello, fellow advocates. My name is Mukhtar Suleiman from Yobe State in the northeastern Nigeria. When I joined Cohort 7, I knew I didn't just sign up for a program. I joined a family of young people who believe change is possible, even when our community faces one of the difficult realities of life. So, growing up in this area where people face a lot of challenges, struggle with poverty, limited access to opportunity, Sustainable Development Solution Network (SDG) advocacy program strengthened my voice, expanded my network, and equipped me with driving real change in my community. I'm grateful for this opportunity and committed to building a more sustainable and equitable future. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Good afternoon, my fellow advocates. My name is Godwin Onoja. I am a social worker to the core, a resident of Benue State. I am interested in SDG goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. Throughout the SDG Advocates Program, I received intensive training on the 17 SDG goals, leadership skills, community engagement, advocacy strategies, and effective communication. I conducted awareness campaign on key SDG such as quality education, climate action, gender equality, good health and well-being. I also engage students, teachers, youth and community members in discussion about sustainability. I use social media to promote SDG related program. The program has shaped my knowledge of the 17 SDG and has trained me leadership, communication, and community development. I carry out advocacy activities, engage peoples, teachers, and youth, and promoted sustainable practice among the students. The experience has transformed me, strengthened my confidence. I encourage every individual to take action by engaging in sustainable practice. I want to use this medium to say a very big thank you to the program organizers, to all my mentors, to all the partners, and to my fellow SDG advocate in the house. Thank you all and God bless you.
Hello everyone, my name is Besta Chima. I am a science laboratory technology professional and precisely chemistry biochemistry. I'm also an SDG advocate. I'm from Abia State but currently living in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The SDG I am passionate about is SDG 3, which talks about good health and well-being. So, being part of the SDG Advocate Program has been a life-changing experience for me. Each phase opened my eyes and taught me how small actions can create big impact. The trainings, they were very practical, they were very inspiring, and it helped me turn knowledge into real community actions. The moment that touched me most was the school project. That is, standing in front of students, sharing what I have learned with them, and also seeing their excitement made the journey real for me and more meaningful. It builds my confidence and strengthens my passion for advocacy. For my school project, I visited a school and sensitized students on healthy living, on personal hygiene, and how their daily choices affect their future in life. I also listened to them and answered their questions and encouraged them to become young champions of SDGs. I am proud that my visit made a positive impact with them. So, my message to every one of us now is this, that sustainable development starts with you. The little things you do every day matters a lot in life. So when we all work together, we can create a healthier and more inclusive world. I sincerely appreciate the program organizers, the partners, the mentors, and everyone who supported my journey. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for listening to my SDG impact story. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Esther and I am really excited to share my experience with the SDG Advocate programs, most especially the master classes. The master class we had on sustainable economy really stood out for me because as a fashion designer, I got the insight on how to recycle my waste fabric into something meaningful, thereby creating sustainability in my craft. And also as part of the Enugu State Advocates, I also got involved in our school project, thereby contributing to real changes in the community. And I also got to meet great minds, like we got to connect with many people and create changes the little way we could. And I'm also grateful for this opportunity, and I'm also grateful for being part of this solution, creating a more sustainable future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Baturi Olamide, and I'm one of the SDG advocate trainee for the Cohort 7. This program, I must say, is an impactful program because it gave me a platform to reach out to people. I believe that if you want to see a change, you must be one of the drivers of that change, and this program gave me the opportunity for that. And then through the Own a School program, I was able to reach out to over 300 children, and I was able to tell them about the SDG, and they were more than happy to embrace it. And through this program in my state, Ekiti State, we organized a community outreach in the market, and I championed the health section as a medical doctor. We were able to reach out to a lot of people, and to their alarm, many of them, they had a lot of medical conditions that they were not even aware of. And you know, the SDG 3, good health and well-being for all, it helped us to drive this more. So I must appreciate the program because it's a very impactful one.
Hello everyone, my name is Ogmola Stella and I'm one of the Ocean State advocates for SDSN Cohort 7, and being a part of the 4 months SDG cohorts was really a deep personal experience for me. I joined hoping to learn but ended up growing so much more than I expected, and as a sub-team lead in the community project, I had the chance to step in real leadership situations, coordinating tasks, supporting my team, and seeing how collaboration can turn small ideas into real impact. And my biggest milestone was my personal project where I got to educate children about gender equality, and standing in front of those children, breaking down what equality means and why it matters, made me realize how powerful early education can be. Their questions and reactions, it showed me that change truly starts with awareness. And this course did not just teach me SDGs, it showed me that I can be a part of the solution, and the solution does not have to be massive to be meaningful. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Esther Damilola Kouvari, an SDG advocate, Cohort 7 from Ile-Ife, Osun State. I'm an ecologist and environmental conservationist. I would love to talk about my SDG impact story. My work aligns with about 3 SDGs, SDG 3, SDG 6, and SDG 13. Wow, it has been a beautiful journey being a part of the SDG advocate. My experience so far, wow, my experience has been so enriching and transformative. I learned so much. I've learned so much about communicating skills. I've also learned about community engagement and ensuring that the particular problem in the society is being addressed. Going an extra mile in knowing the challenges around you has been a beautiful experience for me. And my experience about the impact I made was about my own school project. I realized that many of the students, many people around are not even aware of the amount of fresh water they have in their community, not alone about even conserving these resources. So I was opportune to speak with young minds, to engage them. I saw the eagerness around these students. They were so willing about knowing about the environment, which is a very important thing, because I realize that many are not even aware of their environment. I've been opportunity to teach students from outside the country. I realize that from grade 7, they are being exposed to things in their environment. They are being taught about SDGs, pick them one after the other, to even see how they can make impacts in their environment. So it has been a beautiful experience indeed. Yeah, my most impactful moments were the capacity building moments, where different facilitators we are able to share their experiences and help us with different perspectives on how we can achieve the sustainable development goals. So I think those sessions were very impactful for me. Now, finally, I would just love to say sustainable development is not the responsibility of a selected few. It's a shared mandate. And the more we advocate, the more our voices we echoes in the hearts of many. So I want to use this opportunity to sincerely appreciate the facilitators, the organizers, the state lead team, and all the members I was opportune to meet during this period of this program. It has been so beautiful working with everyone, and I know it's a lot.
Hello everyone, I am Princess Emmanuel, an SDG advocate. I'm excited to share my experience from the SDG Advocate program. It was really a life-changing event as I learned the importance of collaboration and teamwork. Working with the Enugu State SDG Advocates, we distributed first aid box to school, promoting SDG 3, which is good health and well-being. We also distributed solar lamps to students, promoting SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. Furthermore, through my own school project, I was able to sensitize the students on SDG 13, climate action, by educating them on the impact of climate change and mitigation strategies. I'm so excited to have been a part of this journey, and I'm looking forward to us making the world a sustainable and a resilient place, where our planet will be a sustainable one. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shafi Mahmoud from Kano State. I'm SDG Advocate Cohort 7. This cohort has given me a chance to connect with more people, know more about the SDG, know how to contribute to the community. It's community-based project. For the on-school project, I engage with students. I light them more about the SDG. We connected, we share idea. Students are very amazing. I love that experience very much. The second one is the on-school project, where we talk about the health issue, because health is very crucial and health is wealth. So we talk about the health issue concerning the community and how to tackle them and so on. And the third one, that is the community-based project, where we carried our sanitation program at Sabongari Market. So that was another experience that I can never forget, because we get to connect with the market people. We get to engage with other stakeholders in the government and the market management and so on. This has opened my eyes, has helped me gain give more to the community, make more impact and contribution. Thank you for giving us the chance.
Impactful and inspiring. What stand out was learning from stakeholders and making changes and making people to see hope, and also young minds interested in being advocates for sustainability for the future. And also the most impactful moments of the activity, the most significant that had more impact on me was our community-based project and the own school initiative, because I had the privilege of engaging with students, youths, and some stakeholders on pressing issues, exchanging ideas with them, and also looking for possible collaborations to see that we can drive a sustainable environment. Then my contribution to the change of the program, I would say in my own little way, I have contributed in the field of advocacy, because I am inspired to carry more advocacy and educate young minds about the sustainable development goals, its aim, mission, and vision towards the attainment of the 2030 agenda, and also catching the young minds young. Then my message, a word of advice and encouragement to the general public on the importance of sustainability and development action. The communities and the general public, is important to keep a sustainable future, because when we have a sustainable future, we know that yes, we are not eating from what we are going to enjoy in the future, and we are not causing harm or shortening the ration of the future endeavors. And my appreciation, I'm going to close by expressing my appreciation and sincere gratitude to the organizers of the UN SDSN Youth Cohort 7 Advocacy Program, the organizers, the partners, and also the mentors, and everyone, the partners who supported us through the journey, the state team leads for their tireless effort, team members, fellow advocates. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Hello, my name is Onelune Sulaiman Buluwatife, a change maker and SDG advocate from Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. Yeah, one of the core value that guide my leadership journey is change making rooted in service, especially toward achieving sustainable development goals with a strong focus on SDG 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 4, quality education. So this value became central to me because of my personal experience in my community. Growing up in Zaria, I witnessed how marginalized group like children, young girl, low-income families struggle to.
So, thank you so much to our technical and media team for that powerful video highlight. We truly appreciate the effort that goes into making this experience seamless. And so, good afternoon, everyone. And I want to sincerely welcome you to week 5 of the SDG Advocates Program Quad 8 Masterclass Series, and also to the phase 2 of the SDG Advocates Program. And my name is Ajewole Oluwapelumi Samuel, and I will be moderating this session alongside Afolabi Aishat. And on behalf of the SDSN Youth Nigeria team, I'm excited to welcome each and every one of you, especially our advocates joining us live on YouTube. And now, before we go further, I want us to bring some energy into this room. Just as I was doing on the YouTube, I can see it. So let's see if you're excited to be here. The advocates, kindly drop your favorite emojis in the YouTube live chat. We want to feel your presence. We want to see how you are feeling, how happy are you to get to the phase 2 of the SDGAP. So let's see, show us with your favorite emoji. Yes, I think the messages are coming. I can see it. Thank you. As also, if you know a fellow advocate who isn't currently on this session, I will advise this is the perfect time to reach out to them. Share the link, post it on your social media, and let them know that we are live to delegate. And so today's session is definitely, I said definitely, one no one want to miss. Yes. So our last masterclass focused on the role of innovation and technology in advancing the SDGs. We explored how emerging tools and data solution can be applied in real-world context, to drive sustainable development. And the session highlighted the ways technology intersect with climate action, education, and community building, while also emphasizing the importance of context-specific innovation. We also examined how advocates can design multi-impact SDG projects, by leveraging data, the creativity and technology to deliver solutions that address multiple goals, at once. And us building on the insights that we've gained so far from the master classes we've been attending all this while. Today's masterclass turns to a vital dimension of advocacy, which is the funding and project execution. As SDG advocates, passion and vision are only the starting point. They are just like a capital to start a business. To truly drive change, we must learn how to design projects, that attract funding, secure the right resources, and execute them with precision and accountability. And so this session will guide us through practical approaches, to mobilizing financial support, engaging foreign partners, even local partners, and also donors, and managing projects in ways that deliver measurable and sustainable impact. And by strengthening our capacity to fund and execute effectively, we have positioned ourselves not just as advocates, but as implementers of real solutions. So by the close of today's session, participants will have gained the ability to design projects that attract funding and resonate with donors, and while also mastering practical approaches to resource mobilization and execution. You'll be encouraged to reflect on your personal style of your project delivery, positioning yourselves as credible advocates who not only speak about the SDGs, but also implement them with measurable impact. So ultimately, this session is designed to empower you, to secure support, manage initiative effectively, and take deliberate steps forward, creating sustainable change. And so, without wasting much of our time, I will introduce us to today's session. We have two speaker sessions, and each will be followed by a question and answer segment, a brief info session, and recap and announcement, and finally our closing remarks. So as always, we encourage active participation. Since we are live on YouTube, kindly drop your question in the chat during each section. This is very, very important to us, to note the session of each participant so as to attend to them during the Q&A segment. We'll be taking selected questions during that segment. So I will advise you stay engaged and take notes, with your written materials. So we'll now be moving into our first speaker session. As I'm reading the bio, I want us to show with our favorite emoji, on the YouTube chat. Show with your favorite emoji. Let's know, how happy you had to learn from our first speaker today. And so it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker for today's masterclass by the name Miss Wonderful Akombi. Miss Wonderful Akombi. Wonderful Akombi is an award-winning child rights lawyer and education development professional, transforming educational access for Nigeria's most vulnerable children. As founder of Nehada's Children's Network for Social Change, NCN, she leads a child-centered organization working at the intersection of law, policy, education, research, and creative storytelling across Nigeria, West Africa, and even the global stage. Wow. A qualified lawyer with expertise in policy development and stakeholder engagement. Miss Wonderful launched Nigeria's first climate tech podcast and facilitated the creation of the country's inaugural digital waste policy. Our digital literacy work has reached 30,000 plus children across 7 IDP camps and 30 schools, earning the organization the UNITU Equals in Tech Award for advancing gender responsive education and digital equity for refugee and out of school children. And so today, she'll be speaking on the topic project management and monitoring for social impact. Advocate, kindly pay close attention and take note of your question and answer question for the Q&A segment. So, Miss Wonderful, it's a pleasure to have you with us. So, over to you, ma.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome. Please confirm you can hear me. Hello? Please confirm you can hear me clearly.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. Confirm you can also see me.
Yes, we can see you. Oh, no, not yet. We can see you now. Yes.
Okay, but I'm trying to ensure that I have the background on my background. Is it there? Yes, it is.
Yes, background is there.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I genuinely appreciate it. I'm trying to check YouTube so that I can see the live chat engagement, but I can't. I don't know if maybe I'm on the wrong platform or something, but I can't see us live on YouTube. Farida, please, if you don't mind sending me the link maybe on WhatsApp or something so I can just engage, because it's going to be a very interactive session. So I want everybody to be all hands on deck, all eyes, all ears, right here in this session. I believe this is one of the most important things you can do as as a change maker, your projects are the lifeblood of anything that you're doing. As a matter of fact, they are the things that define whether or not you're a change maker and the quality of change that you are making in society. So I'm really excited to be here. I think that I have to put a disclaimer. Thank you for the beautiful bio. I saw it and I was really, you know, um, I also have to say that the organizations that I've worked with many organizations, various organizations, and the ones that I've worked with in the past, my work has influenced them winning multiple awards and not NCN winning the UNITU award. We'll definitely get there, but we have facilitated a lot of projects that have, gone ahead to win global awards. So I just wanted to put that out there because of misrepresentation. My legal mind cannot just take my eyes off it. So thank you so much again, everybody, for being here. So let's just get straight to the point. I really want to see engagement as much as possible. Faridat, I don't know if I should share my slides or maybe my slides would be shared automatically. Should I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, please do so. Can I share your screen?
Okay, thank you so much. Just a moment, let me just share my screen. So during the when I joined the call, I heard somebody saying he's very passionate about SDG 3, which is good health and well-being. That is absolutely amazing. I think I should give a little context to my background. But before I do that, let me just try and open this up. Almost there. Okay, please confirm you can see my screen.
It's still loading.
Is it up now?
Yes, it's up now.
Okay, thank you. So please just let me know the first thing you can read on the slides.
This is Zoom, showing Zoom settings, cookie settings, accept cookies.
Okay, no, that's not what we want to see. I'm just wondering, supposed to show me sites. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm having trouble sharing my slides. Just give me a moment, please. Let me just refresh that again. Okay, so I am having very, very serious technical difficulties right now. If it's possible for the team to share my slides from their end, I would be glad so that we can just tackle it from both ends, please.
All right, ma'am. Miss Wonder, can you hear
Sure.
me?
Kindly confirm if you can see the screen right now, like this screen right now.
It's still loading. Yes, it's showing now. Miss Wonderful, you can have it now.
Also, madam, the YouTube link has been sent to your WhatsApp. The link is also on in the chat. And this is on chat box section.
Miss Wonderful, are you there? So
All right.
participants,
Can go ahead, Simon.
all right. So yeah, sorry for the little delay, the advocate. No, we have some technical issue here and we are going to resolve it very soon. So for the time being, I know on the YouTube chat, talking on the topic before us, which is the project management and monitoring for social impact. We want to have ideas, hear from you what you've been through in the monitoring for social impact, if you've been there before, the lesson you wish to learn in today's masterclass. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear from you, please. I'll be on the YouTube now to check and have some of this discussion. So thank you. We'll be expecting. Okay. Oh. Okay, Constance Alaka. I can see what you said. SDG2 was what made me register for the cohort, but right now I'll be running my project on SDG4 because the community where I find myself has a lot of teenagers, youth, the lack of self-awareness. Wow, it's a good idea. Constance Alaka, it's a good idea. We love that. And that's what the SDG is looking at. Yes, the project management. Have you managed a project before? What are the areas? What are the things you put in place to learn in today's masterclass, learning about the project management and monitoring for social impact? I'd like to hear from you. So from here, okay, I have Iyebu Kuko. He said the lesson I look forward to in today's masterclass is on the M and E aspect of project execution. Yes, don't worry. We have a good speaker that will talk about on that. Don't worry. And so we want to say, okay, we have another one from Annie Chizoba John. So project management is usually time-based, has to be completed within a specific time period. Wow. Onye Oyedule John said, I want to carry out a malaria project. So monitoring for social impact will help me to determine the knowledge, attitude, and practice of the community members and find out the root causes of malaria everything will be sorted there. And now I will hand over to our speaker. Now, Miss Wonderful, you can have the floor now, ma. Miss Wonderful, the screen has been shared. You can
Thank you very
go
much.
on.
Yes, I'm back. So confirm you can hear me, please.
Yes, you are audible, ma.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I'm really happy that everybody's excited and looking forward to hearing everything that they are excited to also learn. So let's just start. So we're talking about project management and monitoring for social impact. And I'm going to start with a question because I want this to be as interactive as much as possible. And I already got linked to the live chat. So I'm going to be looking through the live chat for your answers and we're going to be interacting. So I want you to please pay attention as much as you can. I want you to give your all. I want to even hear from you. Justin, thank you so much for also being very patient with me. So please let's just go to the next slide. Let's go to the next slide, please. Yes. So I'm a child right lawyer. I work in development education, specifically education development, and I work in the intersection of law, policy, and education development. Very, very interesting place to be. Very, very interesting field, I must say, because it comes with its own challenges. Every day is a new thing. But predominantly, my work is centered around children, whether it's refugees or internally displaced children. And I will let you know the reason why I'm giving you this contextual, feedback to my work. Let's just go to the next slide. So the first thing I want us to do is, I know that we've been having trainings. Let's just go to the next slide. I know we've been having trainings, we've been having classes over the, thank you, just stop here, please. We've been having classes over the last couple of weeks. I want you to tell me if you could describe the Sustainable Development Goals in one word. If you could describe it in one word, what would it be? I'm opening the live chat right now. I'm trying to look out for our feedback. If you could describe SDGs in one word, what would it be? One word, not a phrase, not a sentence. SDGs in one word, what would it be? There are no right or wrong answers. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Humanity. Somebody said, Aisha said humanity. Somebody said well-being. Somebody said impact, encompassing. Another person said humanity. Another person said insightful. Wow, wow, wow. Somebody said change. Somebody said impact, life-saving, sustainability. Another person said humanity, advocacy. This is very, very interesting. Changes, survival, importance, sustenance. Thank you so much for your feedback. I love it. Now, hold that right there. Just hold what you just said. If you said impact, if you said development, somebody said life. Gosh. So the SDGs are that important. Okay. Now, I want you to think about something else. If there was one profession, just one profession that is synonymous with the Sustainable Development Goals, what would it be? Now, I know that you cannot speak, but I'm looking through your live chats. I'm looking through the live chat and I'm seeing your engagement. I want you to think about it critically because it's very, very, very important to what we'll be discussing today. If there was one profession that is synonymous with the SDGs, what would it be and why? Thank you for telling me you can hear me. If there was one, somebody said teacher, good. One profession, teacher. Okay, if you say teacher, I want you to tell me why. If you pick a profession, I want you to tell me why. Because your why is very important. Somebody said nursing. Somebody said social work, okay? Okay, that's good. I love the feedback. Another person said law. Wow. Okay, that's good. Somebody said the teaching profession. I want to see your reasons why. Somebody said public health, management, nutrition, policy advisor, humanitarian. Wow, so many feedback. Project management. Okay. I want you to tell me why. I just need two people to tell me one profession and tell me why you think that profession defines or is synonymous to the Sustainable Development Goals. Majid said nursing because it encompasses all the bodies of the SDGs. Somebody said economics because of policymakers and analysts. Okay. Somebody said software development. That's interesting. Remember, I said the way something that is synonymous, similar to the Sustainable Development Goals. What? Somebody said teacher. They teach and they are the mothers of all education, which means that they are the bedrock of all profession. And thank you so much, Jerry Speaks. I see that. Fortune says this is because the teaching sets teacher. This is because the teaching field encompasses the vital elements of pouring into other educating people across various fields and inspiring others. Amazing. Thank you. So Daniel said a SAN, that's Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Because they are defending, I don't know what they're defending, but they're defending people, right? Okay. Thank you so much for the feedback. Somebody said none. Okay. I see your feedback. Thank you so much. Changing the lives of humanity. Somebody said public health because all goals is the life of life. Okay, I see your feedback. Thank you so much for the feedback. I genuinely appreciate it. Now, next slides, please. I will tell you my answer and why. My own answer. And I would tell you why. I picked doctor. And I already told you in the beginning that I'm a lawyer. So this is my picture, but this is not me. Let's just put it that way. Because I'm a lawyer, I never studied medicine. I never did any science course, even in secondary school. But I developed this because I want to explain my rationale. See, I like to build. I really want you to stay with me because I like to build on things. Maybe it's because I'm a lawyer, but I like to build my case. So I'll tell you why. Now, I developed this myself, and I developed this because I want you to understand how integral project management and solutions are to the SDGs. So I call it the Doctor Development Framework. And I said, great development work is not charity. It is science applied to human problems. Now, I could have said law, because, maybe I'm a lawyer and, I have a firm grasp of law, the legal background and all that. But after a number of experience and working across different communities, doing different sustainable projects, I've come to realize that the medical profession is very synonymous with what we do in the development space. Now, this is why. The medical profession is very synonymous with what we do in the development space. And this is why. You see, when you go to the hospital, let's imagine that you have malaria. Yes, malaria is very popular in Nigeria. You have malaria. And I know that as Nigerians, the first thing you do when you have malaria is you take paracetamol and then you take malaria drug. But let's imagine that the malaria has become so intense. After 3 days of taking malaria drug, it hasn't subsided. So you now eventually go to the hospital. The first thing that the doctor does, the first thing that happens when you get to the hospital, who can tell me what's the first thing that happens? You go to a proper hospital, proper, emphasis on proper. What's the first thing that they do? Like I said, we have Stephen. Stephen Abiodun says he's a doctor. That's why I said public health. Stephen, what's the first thing that you do when a patient gets to the hospital? The first number one thing that you do? I want you to tell me, please. If you know it too, please just let me know. What's the first thing? The first thing. I want this session to be as interactive as possible, so we'll be having a lot of back and forth. The first thing. Somebody says diagnosis, evaluation, consultation, and clerking. Checkup. Vitals. Queen, thank you so much. They take your vitals. Thank you so much, Queen. That is the first thing. When you get to an hospital and you say you want to see the doctor, you have malaria, they won't take you to see the doctor immediately. They will take your vitals. They will check your height, your weight, your blood pressure. For those of us that are old enough to have, they don't check kids' blood pressure, but they will check your blood pressure. And then they will take vitals. Now, why is that important? Because they need that to even that is the bedrock of any consultation you'll be having with the doctor. Your height, your weight, and simple things about you determine how critical your condition is. If they take your vitals and they see that your blood pressure is very, very high, what would they do? They would immediately admit you or take you to the emergency room or do something about it. So that's the first thing they do. They take your vitals. After they take your vitals, they now take you to see the doctor. The doctor would ask you, oh, what is wrong? The doctors will check. Okay, they'll tell you, okay, tell me your symptoms. Doctors will listen to your symptoms. When they hear your symptoms, then the doctor will tell you to take a test. If you go to a proper hospital, even if all your symptoms are leading to malaria and typhoid, they would still tell you to do a proper test. For the ladies, they'll probably ask you some critical questions. Or when was the last time you saw your period? Are you pregnant? You know, all those simple things. Then they will tell you to take a test, right? Now, in that same way, there is a structure. In that same way, the medical profession has a structure to healing, or should I say, to treating ailments. That same way, we as development professionals have a structure and a methodology to project management and to solving problems across the globe. Now, my next slide is going to show you how synonymous it is. Now, the reason why it is important to, please take it to the last slide. I just want to mention something. Thank you. The reason why I said this is very important is because, you see, the doctor to development framework is very similar. Now, as change makers, people don't realize, it was when I first started in the development profession, I was doing a lot of things. I was trying to, when you get to a community, you're very passionate, you see that, these children, like I said, I'm very passionate about children. Oh, these children are suffering, they don't go to school. Oh, what can I do? Let me buy them school bags. Let me buy them this. Let me buy them books. Let me donate. Now, what SDSN is training you to become is to become a change maker, to become a development professional, not just somebody that gives charity. Now, those are two different things. You see, you can be in the humanitarian space and be giving relief items. Now, because I work with refugees, I work with people that have been affected by conflict. Let me break that down a bit. I work with children that maybe insurgency in the north, they've been affected by Boko Haram, their homes, their houses, everything has been bombed, both nationally and internationally. Now, the first thing that we give them is aid, humanitarian aid. Simple things like food, clothes, all those things. Now, those are good. But you see, those would not solve their problem in the long run. And that's where development professionals come in. Because our work is beyond charitable interventions. Our work is critical. They solve human problems. And we solve human problems by evidence-based methodologies, by strategy, by community-centered solution designs. Please, are you following? Are you following? Let me see an emoji if you're following. Please, let's go to the next slide. An emoji, please, if you're following. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, look at my next slide. You will see that I said, as doctors treat nurses, I wrote developers, it's actually development professionals treat social problems. Development professionals treat social problems. So, you remember I said the first thing that we do when you get to an hospital is we take your vitals. I can see that everybody's engaging. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. I love the fact that you're following. Thank you so much. Now, I said the first thing you get to do when you get to an hospital is they take your vitals. Now, that is synonymous to going to a community and identifying a community and just trying to study the community. The last person that spoke before I joined the call, when my gadget was malfunctioning, the person said, I think I heard the person say, I'm passionate about SDG 3, good health and well-being. Now, of course, when you get to a community and you see that maybe they don't have good drinking water, the children are malnourished, the children look sick. And again, I will continue to use children because I work with children so much, and those are the examples that I can relate with. Of course, I've worked with women and other people, but my specialization is around children. So you see a child that is malnourished. I'll give you an example. There was one time I was working at an IDP camp, and it was in a very, very remote community. You know, those communities that you go to that feels like the journey to that community is is so far. That's all I can say. It's so far. As a matter of fact, as you're getting closer to the community, it's getting colder. And you're beginning to just see different things. You probably think that they're about to kidnap you. That's how remote these communities are. So honestly, when you want to do intervention programs, you'll probably be going to remote places where people don't even know that people are there. So when we got to this community, I saw this child. And the wonderful thing about children is children are so innocent. They are so amazing. Now he had, what should I call this thing? I think he's ringworm. Now I'm not a doctor, but I think he's ringworm. And I know that there was a doctor there are doctors on this team. He had ringworm, and the way the ringworm is, it was already bowed. The ringworm had eaten into his scalp so deeply and had covered half of his face. When I say half of his face this way, you could see the ringworm already. It was that critical. Now, this child was still playing. He was still happy. He was so happy to see me. He didn't even know something was going on with him. That's how beautiful children are. Now, if you're a doctor, you are passionate about good health and well-being, when you go there first, the first thing you will notice is you would see these ailments. You would see that, oh, these people are sick and they need urgent medical attention. Now, the first thing that you do is not to go and carry drug, is not to go and carry injections or whatever and then start treating them. No, the first thing you do is to take their vitals. And taking their vitals means understanding the community that you are in. Okay, so where is this community? What do they do here? What's their lifestyle here? Understanding their way of life, who they are, what they do, their mode of reasoning, their culture, who the stakeholders are. Those are the first things you do. You take vitals. I will give you another example. The reason why it is important to take vitals. Still in an IDP camp, I would give you so many examples of, when I say IDP, let me just say it is internally displaced persons camp. These are refugee camps, just in case you didn't know that. Let me just put that out there. But let me say that I would give different examples of refugees camps because I've done a lot of work across the years in different camps. Now, I went to a particular camp and I work in education. We wanted to do a little test, like a randomized control trial, like a little M&E for the kids. And because I was working with children and young adults, I wanted to separate them. I didn't want them to make noise. I wanted it to be orderly. So I put them on a particular seat. I just mixed the class together. And then I started getting some feedback. They were not comfortable. Some of them stood, some of them did not answer me. Some of them were just acting anyhow. They didn't even, I told them to sit down, they didn't sit down. It was later that I got the feedback and the undertone, vibe that they were giving me. And it was because I was working in a northern community, and boys and girls don't mix. Now, I knew that boys and girls don't mix, but I was thinking children, they were young. I didn't think it was a big deal. But even with children, boys and girls do not mix. And so I had to separate them. And then when I separated them, there was peace. And then we could do what we wanted to do. Now, what I'm used to, when you're working with children, you don't really think too far. If I was probably working with adults, I would have said, okay, yes, females this way, males this way. But you see, those little things can affect your project. And that's why it is important that you take the vitals. You understand where you are working in. You understand the type of community you are working in. You understand how volatile it is. You understand where the community, what the kind of people that are there, the number of beneficiaries that are there. Just a lot of things. You just go there and study the environment. That is important. Now, the next thing is consultation. When they tell you, okay, come and see the doctor now begins to ask you your symptoms. Now, consultation is synonymous to something that we call in the development space, community engagement. And this is where you speak to stakeholders in the community. Let me give you an example. If I go to a community right now, let me call it Takoshara. I go to Takoshara. You want to know, maybe if I want to work with the refugees there, the IDP people, they always have an IDP chairman. They always have a council. host community always has a chairman, or maybe should I call him maybe like a king, or what's it called? Just a community leader. It can be a king, it can be an emir. Sometimes, yes, in Nasarawa, when we did work in Nasarawa, there was an emir there. It could be anything. So there's usually host community council that are leaders. Then there's IDP leaders. Then there are people that don't have portfolios at all, but they are also leaders because they can influence, do, and undo. So you need to understand these people. You need to go and see them, to speak with them. You need to identify with them. You cannot just enter the community, even if you have good intentions. Good intentions are not enough. Your good intentions, I will reiterate it again, your good intentions are not enough. You need to go to these places, meet the stakeholders, know the stakeholders. You can meet the king or the community chairman, and maybe the friend to the community chairman is the person ruling the community. He may not have the title, but he has the influence. So you need to know the people that have the influence, the people that have the power, and how power plays. All those things are very, very important. Do you know how important this is? It can cost you your project. It can cost you your life. I say that again because I've been there. There was a camp, a project I wanted to execute, and it almost cost us our life because we made a simple mistake. Simple, very simple mistake. And the people that were going to kill us, let me tell you guys, we ran away. It was so volatile that the people that were going to, it was the chairman that said, the chairman and the king of that community that told us that, see, let me tell you something, guys. You need to leave my village now. If you don't leave my village, these people are they are ready to do and undo, and I don't have power over them. You can see why your consultation, your community engagement is very, very important. Because simple things, your good intentions are not enough, and simple things can cost you your project and even your life. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you are feeling me, if you are still following, I want you to give me an emoji. I want you to give me a feedback. Let me see if you are following. Give me a thumbs up, give me fire, give me something. Let me see if you are following. I'm going to, as much as possible, be giving you my practical experiences because I want you to understand what I'm saying. Stakeholders engagement is very important. Thank you, Inform. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Community. So you understand your stakeholders, you understand the people that have power, you understand how, whether or not you can actually do this project in this community. And when you do that, you don't just know them to know them for knowing sake. You know them, you engage with them to understand them, to understand their way of life. If you did your vitals well, you would know that, okay, when I'm going to this community, if you are a woman, for example, there are some communities that you are going to that you don't wear your jeans and trousers and your face cap. You may not penetrate. There's some communities that you dress the way they dress. You look the way they look. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I remember one time I wanted to go and see an emir in a community that we wanted to work in. We all dressed the way the community would dress. Would dress. And then at a point, we removed our slippers. We just basically synchronized with the community system so that we can also understand them better. All those little things are important. I see your emojis. Thank you so, so much. I'm happy that you are learning. I'm happy that you are engaging. And also, let me give you one more contextual experience before I move on to the next thing. It is that sometimes you need to understand the cultural and power play. Now, if you are a woman or you are a man and you are the leader of your project in your organization, when you visit some communities, you might need to just switch up fast. Maybe when you get to your office, you continue your bossiness or your position. But sometimes I've gotten to communities where even if it was a woman leading the project, we had to give a man the lead to speak. Now you can argue, you can say women have empowerment. It is an empowerment thing. Women have rights. Nobody's arguing with you. But do you want to do your project? Do you want to penetrate or do you not want to penetrate? It is true. Sometimes cultural power play is there, is real. then sometimes you may have to, it can be vice versa. It doesn't always have to be that the man would lead. Sometimes the women would lead. If you are working with maybe women, you are working with women that have been affected by some serious conflicts, and you are a man leading the project, you might want to put a woman at the forefront to speak to other women. It is a psychological thing, it's an emotional thing you have to understand. And that's why your vitals, your community engagement, your stakeholders engagement is very important. Also, it would also help you in when you are relating with the community. When you are going to grassroots, when you're working with grassroots doing community engagement, you'd also need to get off your high horse. You need to come down to their level to impact. So that's where your passion comes in as well. That's not the time to be speaking big grammar. Sometimes if you have to speak Yoruba, you speak Yoruba. I've been to, we did a project in Oyo State one time, and we had to speak Yoruba. We had to, as a matter of fact, we had to take people that knew how to speak Yoruba to follow us to speak Yoruba very well. Sometimes it has to be that if you're working in the north, people that spoke Hausa, if we're working in the east, people that speak their natural language, it is important. That is not the time to be speaking your Queen's English. It will not work. You will go home. I'm just telling you. So now we've done the consultation, then examination, physical examination and lab tests. And this is where you do your surveys, you gather your data. You need to know, okay, what is the problem of this community? Now, remember the example of the boy that I gave. If you saw a ringworm on a boy's head, and you saw that the ringworm had left his hair and was eating half of his face already, true life story. Guys, I'm not even going to lie to you. It's something that I've seen a lot. Now, your first intuition, if you are intuition is oh my god, maybe there's dirty water in this community, there is airborne disease, there are germs, we need to fumigate, we need to do this, we need to do that. No. Even if you are passionate, even if your heart it is pinching your chest, that is not what you do. You go there and you listen, you take data, you observe, you understand what are their problems. Let them tell you what their own problems are and how you can mitigate and how you can solve. If you are doing an health outreach, let them let you know what their problems are, what the root causes are. And then you develop your solution in line with what they tell you, in line with their community, their cultural, standards, their community culture, what they do, how they do their things. You now streamline your solutions to fit into it. That is what we call contextual realities in development. So you can have a solution. You can have a well-designed project, but those projects are still, should I say, you still need to synchronize them to the contextual realities of the community that you're working with. I can tell you for free, what would work in Oyo State would not work in Kaduna and would not work in Edo State. Those are contextual realities. So that is where you gather your data, you understand the group that you're working with, your field observation and all that. Now, you understand that doctors, when they tell you to take a test, they're not trying to treat your symptoms. They're trying to find out the root cause. So you may say that as a woman, you may say that, oh, I have malaria and typhoid. I've been treating malaria and typhoid, doctor. It has been going on for 3 days, but you may not know that you're pregnant. Root causes, and that is why they say take a test. You may be having symptoms of malaria and typhoid. You may not know that it is probably something else that is very, very more important. Maybe a blood disease, and then after your test, the doctors are seeing the signs. And that is why you go to those communities, you do your stakeholders engagement to understand the underlying problem. You speak to them, let them understand, let them tell you what their problems are, and then you now fit your solutions to them. And then when the doctors treat you, when they give you a particular drug, this is what you call your design, your projects. So when the doctors are treating your malaria, your typhoid, or whatever it is, this is your treatment. This is your solution. And this is the integral part of what we're talking about today, your project design, your implementation. Then after doctors administer and do your monitoring, you also do your monitoring, your project monitoring and all that. We'll talk more about that. Please let's go to the next slide. The next slide, please. Thank you. So I wanted us to do a case study. I wanted you to give me a case study. I don't know if there's anybody from the team that can give us a case study of a project and how we can, I want us to work with that case study to fit in, to design it together and to use it as an example throughout what we'll be doing. I don't know if I should give my own case study, SDSN team, or should I hear from the audience? How do you want us to do this? Also, please, can you let me know how many minutes I have left?
All right, Mal. Well done. Thank you so much for your lecture so far. So, I think to save time, maybe you might want to go on to your own case study.
Okay.
Because our time is actually fast spent.
Okay. Thank you. So let's go to the next slide. Thank you. Let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, I have already flagged step 1, needs assessments, your research and evidence gathering, your root cause, that's the diagnosis. You have to find out why children are malnourished, if it's an education project, if it's agriculture, you have to just gather your data. So let's go to the next slide. Thank you. Now let's look at intervention design, implementation. I mentioned something. Can you take it down a bit so that I'm reading? Okay, just take it down a bit. Yes, just no, just stay on that last slide and take it down a bit. Go back to the last slide. No, the last slide. So I was just talking about the our interventions and your projects. So your projects are just basically your solutions, and most of the time they are not a one-size-fits-all. Go to the next slide, please, because I'm running because of time. I want us to finish. Now, let's talk about your solutions. Your solutions are basically your project. How you design your project is very, very important. Now, remember I said that our solutions are synonymous to how doctors work. Before doctors prescribe a drug for you, they have tested it. They have probably done a lot of scientific research. They've computed data. They've seen how it works. They know, okay, this is the dosage you should use. This is what I should give somebody that is 5 years old. This is the dose that maybe somebody that is 15 would take. All that has gone into that. In that same way, you must design your project with that in mind. And this is what I mean. I already said your solutions are your project interventions. And I wrote here that innovation is the hallmark of social change. So what I mean by that is you must be innovative enough to ensure that your solutions are not just theoretical, they are also practical. They are things that are important for the season that we are in. And I give an example of CyberSafe Foundation starting in 2020. CyberSafe Foundation starting in 2020 was very, very innovative because that was a transition stage for us globally, with how to use tech, how to use tech tools and all that. All that started predominantly in 2020. And so CyberSafe Foundation starting bringing their solution at that integral time was very brilliant. What do I want to bring out from that is that your innovation must also take into cognizance timing. If the world is facing corona right now, it's not the time to bring in malaria drug. Malaria drugs are important, but that is not urgent. That is not what the solution that the world is looking for. That is not going to solve a global problem. And please go to the next slide, please. Go to the next slide, please. I've also written here that I did a litmus test to how to know that your project is impact driven. No, previous slide, please. Okay, next. Thank you, just stay here, thank you. Now, I wrote here that innovative programs are evidence-based interventions evidence-based interventions. And the evidence-based practice refers to teaching methods, strategies, interventions that are researched and proven to be effective through rigorous scientific studies and empirical evidence. They are proven to improve outcomes. I wrote educational outcomes because I'm in the education space. And this is what I mean. Now, your solutions must not just be face value. They must be things that are sustainable. They must be things that can actually drive results and drive the impacts that we're looking for. And how do you know that your project has passed this litmus test of evidence-based research? I'll give you an example of the organization that I used to work in, Area High. Now, we have a flagship program for education for one of our thematic focus areas. It's called Fast Track. Now, Fast Track was designed, it is not just a charity intervention. We don't just want to, children are out of school. What do we do? Well, let's pack them into classes. Let's just teach them so that they will know how to read and write. No, that's not what we did. We first understood our target audience. Okay, children that are out of school for so number of years, between the age of this and this, let's say 5 to 18. Now, we now put together a solution using methodologies. And this is what I mean. And that is why you must read vast and you must be vast in your field. Now, there's something that we call the TAL methodology, which is teaching at the right level. Now, TAL in itself is also an organization, and it's a methodology, an educational methodology that says that it's called teaching at the right level, that you don't put children in classes based on their age, but based on their learning level and their learning needs. What does that mean? If a child is 10 years old, it doesn't matter that he's 10 years old. He shouldn't be in primary 5 because he's 10 years old. If that child cannot identify A, B, C, D, E, the child can probably say it, but cannot identify numbers and letters. That child will be in the same class as somebody that maybe is 5 years old but cannot identify numbers. And in the education system that we have in Nigeria today, puts children in classes based on their age, but we need to start putting children in classes based on their learning needs, because that would help their learning and their growth. So we of course we knew that, and then we put that aside. Now there's another thing that we also put together. It's called another methodology. It's called bilingual model of instruction, where we teach children math and English from their mother tongue, not from another language, which is English. So let me give a contextual example. If you work in the north like me, if you work in the north, you will know that they speak Hausa a lot. A 2-year-old, a 1-year-old child can speak Hausa. And so if you're trying to teach them math and English, you teach them in Hausa, not in English. And you use Hausa to teach them English. So it's called a bilingual model of instruction, where we teach them A to Z, numeracy and literacy, from Hausa then to English. That's where they will get it better. So when you go to the class, you don't start saying A, B, but if you say it in Hausa, they will get it faster. That's a methodology. And then we developed a technology, a pen that can, it's a pen like this, a little bit much bigger. That pen can read and write and can speak Hausa, Igbo, English, Yoruba, and any other language you configure it to speak. And so with that technology, we fast-track their learning. Now imagine those methodologies that have been proven, that have been backed up by research. We now use it, bring it together, and we use it to design an intervention program. The result is that in 6 months, somebody that does not know how to speak, that doesn't know how to identify numbers and letters, would catch up very fast, and the person will be able to join his other colleagues in school. Those are evidence-based intervention programs. Projects design solutions that are backed up by research, not your emotions, not your intuitions. Things that would solve critical problem, and then the impacts can be traced. Let's go to the next slide, please. I hope you're following me. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Now, this is a litmus test. How do you know? These are ingredients. If you want to make jollof rice, probably use tomato paste, Maggi, salt, and other things. How do you know that my project, okay, this project that I have in mind, how do I know that it's evidence-based? How do I know that it is impactful? How do I know that it fits the design of a development intervention program? First and foremost, it is scalable. What does that mean? Scalability. What does that mean? It means that you can take that solution from maybe you did the project in community A. You can take it to community B, C, Y, Z and scale it to other places. And that same solution, without changing anything, would work. Now, that's a principle. Without changing anything, that same thing would work. Let me go back to the fast track example that we gave. If we didn't change anything now, our methodology, bilingual model of instruction, now we started with Hausa. Okay, if we use Hausa to teach these children English, how would it work? Now, we took that same solution to Congo, used the Congolese language to teach them English. That same solution still worked. Our technology too, we took it to Congo, configured it to speak Congolese. It still worked. Our child teaching at the right level, it still worked. So we could scale from one community A to another community Z, and it still worked. We could go to another country, take the same solution to another country. It still worked. Another thing is sustainability. And that says the ability for your project to maintain its effectiveness and efficiency in the long term while minimizing negative impacts. So what that means is, okay, is it something that in 10 years, I can track the impact of my project? You see, that's the difference between development professionals and charity work. Because if I am donating school bags and food to a community because I think that they are poor, in maximum 3 months, the food has finished. They are back to where they were before. But you see, intervention programs, it will take them from where they were to where they need to be, such that they can be independent on their own and they would not need any support from you again going forward. So the children that we worked with for 6 months, after we left them and they started joining the normal school curriculum, by the time we came back in 2 years' time, those kids had graduated classes, they had moved up. In 3 years' time, we have seen how it has helped them to move up. Maybe they've graduated primary school or secondary, now in secondary school. We can track our impacts from the time we engage with them to 2 years, 3 years' time. That is sustainability. That is leaving people better than how you left them. That is real change. That is how to make change. Then finally, I mentioned it. How can I measure my impact in the long term? I've mentioned that. Is it measurable? Is it significant? If you worked with Rashid in Gombe State, after 5 years, can you see that your work, the quality of life Rashid is living now, can you see how your project has improved his quality of life in 5 years' time? And Rashid is not far worse. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then finally, replicability. Let's go to the next slide, please. Please, if you understand what I'm saying, give me a thumbs up. I hope you are learning something. If you are learning something, give me feedback. Let me see that you're learning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I like the feedback I'm getting. Thank you so much. I really like the feedback I'm getting. Now, finally, replicability. And I mentioned here that replication is about reproducing your successful social purpose programs or core principles in other geographical areas to increase impact and reach. If you build something that is great, it will be replicable. You can do it in other places. You can take it from Nigeria to Rwanda to Congo. It is replicable. So social replication about reproducing your success, your programs across geographical areas. Please, let's go to the next slide. I hope you are really, really learning something. I hope you're learning something. We are almost done, and I can't wait to hear your questions. Let's go to the next slide, please. The next slide, please. Yes, I wrote here that if you do it right, it will last forever. I don't want you to forget it. If you do it right, it will last forever. The quality of development professionals, of change makers that we need right now are people that build solid solutions. Solid solutions, not... See, humanitarian aid is good, though. It has its own place. I'm not saying it's bad. Charitable work is good, but we're looking for real change. You see, where we are right now in Nigeria, even in third world countries, what the government is supposed to be doing is what non-governmental organizations and trade makers are doing. And so we must build sustainable solutions that will stand the test of time and that would actually effect communal change and cultural growth. That is what we need. Those are the quality of change makers that we need in today's world. People that would solve problem from the roots and not just try and cutting off branches or try and cutting off, not just symptoms. They are solving root causes. And that is why I made an example to doctors. Doctors don't cure your symptoms. They cure the problem. And that's why they tell you to take a test. I hope we are understanding me. Please, let's go to the next slide. Thank you so much. So this is the last slide of our project life cycle before we talk about social impact. And social impact is not going to take time at all. But the project life cycle, I mentioned first that structure is not bureaucracy. It is what separates a good intention from real results. So structure and strategy are two very, very important things. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to set clear goals. You need to develop a concept. When you have an idea, when you're trying to develop something, excuse me, please, you need to document. And I would really like to show you an example of a concept note, but I don't know if time would avail me. But you need to set clear goals. You need to break down your goals into activities. You need to attach timelines to everything that you're doing. You need to assign responsibilities clearly, and you need to document. I really wish I could show you a real example of what a concept note is. It just has your SWOT analysis. It has your project scope, the project goals, the activities, the impacts that you want, the impacts that you want to see when you are designing your intervention programs. It has all those details in it, and you need to put all that together when you are designing your project life cycle. The next slide, please. We're almost done. Strategies for monitoring and evaluation. This is very, very integral. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is that monitoring and evaluation, I'll call it M&E, it's popularly called M&E actually, starts not at the end of your project, but at the beginning. From the time you start taking your vitals, you start gathering your data. That is when M&E actually starts. And I know that most of us here are just starting, but the first thing you need to be as simple as possible. Late last year, I won a grant with Global Change Makers, and I implemented a project in Lagos. Now, I made it very simple, even though we could do other M&E trials and all that, but I did it in a very, very simple way and still maintained its quality. So we just used spreadsheets for our M&E, and we started with I was saying that the M&E, I just used a spreadsheet. That's what we did. And we just, like I said, you start taking your data, you start doing your M&E from the beginning of your project. And so let me use that project as a case study. It was a digital literacy project. What did we do? After we have done all our vitals, we have gone to our community, we have identified our beneficiaries, we knew who we wanted to work with, we knew the number of girls. It was a digital literacy project for girls. We knew the number of girls we wanted to work with based on our budgets and our data. We did our first M&E, our first test, our first assessment. Most of the time, the thought leadership word for it is baseline. Yes, I think it's baseline assessments. Yes, baseline assessments, because it's the type of assessment that you do at the beginning of a project. And let me tell you what that did for us. Now, let me give you an example. I could only work with 60 girls. We needed to work with 60 girls from 2 schools. Now, our budget could only cater to 60 girls. As a matter of fact, our project pitch to win that grant was 60 girls. When we got to the school, the total number of girls in senior secondary school 3 was 65. 65. Please confirm you can hear me. Confirm you can hear me, please. Confirm you can
Yes,
hear me.
fine.
Thank you. So the total number of girls in the school was 65 for the first school. We got to the next school. The total number of girls in SS3 was 67, thereabouts-ish. So at the end of the day, we wanted to work with 30 girls from each school, cumulative of six. No, we wanted to work with 30 girls from each school. So 30 girls from school A, 30 girls from school B. I wanted to say that the total number of girls in SS3 was 35 and then 37. So now it was now somehow to take 30 girls and leave the remaining 5. I mean, if you go to a class and you want to work with 30 children and you pick and you want to work with you see 35 children, you now pick 30, you now leave like 5 or 3. If you work with children, you know how sensitive that can be to them, their self-esteem and everything. Teenagers will start feeling like something is wrong with me. Why did they not pick me? You know, those type of things. And so what we did was we already had 75 or almost going to 80. What did we do? Now, as much as we really, really wanted to work with all the girls, our facility and our budget could not cater to them, to all of them. That's the truth. And we needed to still do the project. We had only 65 laptops. So even if we're extending above 60, we only had just for 5 people.
All right. I think Miss Wonderful is having technical issues. I think our network is not going too well. Miss Wonderful, are you still here? Can you hear me? All right. Then our time is fast spent. I think we'll just move on. Thank you very much, Miss Wonderful, for such an insightful and engaging session. Your presentation has been a powerful reminder that effective advocacy is not only about having great ideas, but also about managing, monitoring projects in ways that ensure accountability, sustainability, and real social impact. Now, I would have loved for her to be here so that she can answer our questions directly, but
I'm
here.
here.
Oh, you're here now. All right. But anyways, I think that it would be best for us to have our questions sent over to you, and you can be able to do justice to them. Is that okay, Ma?
Definitely, please. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for such an insightful and engaging session. The advocates are very appreciative in the comments, and we at SDSN Youth Nigeria are also very appreciative. Thank you very much. So we will now proceed to our second session for today. Our second session is titled Grant Writing and Proposal Development for SDG Projects. And to guide us through this session, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Alfred Akerele. So, Alfred Akerele is a seasoned grant writer, writing expert, and development strategist with over a decade of experience supporting organizations across the Global South in designing, funding, and scaling high-impact programs. With an extensive network across Africa, the United States, United Kingdom, and the European Union, he serves as a bridge between local institutions and global donors. He is renowned for providing weekly insightful articles on his LinkedIn platform, with an average reach of over 10,000 audience across different media. He is also a dynamic speaker and facilitator, engaging global audiences through high-level training, policy dialogues, and knowledge platforms, where he shares practical insights on funding trends, donor engagements, and sustainable development strategies. So we have a very packed bio here. But to move on, this session will center on how we can craft strong grant proposals and develop impactful projects, grounded in clarity, driven by strategy, and committed to delivering measurable change. Please, as always, stay engaged and attentive. Mr. Akerele, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Over to you, sir. Let me first confirm that you can hear me and that you're ready to go on. All right, thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. Can I request you help me share my slide? Someone has it. Is that fine? Or you want me to do that from my end?
Yes, please. The technical team will share your slides.
Okay, so let's wait for them while we. All right, so if you, I know we've learned a lot from the last presentation. Thanks, wonderful for that. I'm just trying to juggle. I see how best I'm able to move. You requested I do a master class. When I look at the time, I know it's probably not going to be possible to have a master class. But I really want to do a comprehensive, overview, if not a master class, but a comprehensive overview of what we want to learn. And thanks to the SDS and an entire group for inviting me. And I mean, well done on the incredible work you've been doing. I'd like to change my device, but let's just move. I'll just do that quickly. I mean, everybody on this call, all our participants, thanks for joining. And I know that, I mean, a good number of us on this call want to win grants. I am aware of the passion in the room. I can see from YouTube and all the passion, everything that has been happening, the kind of work, amazing, excellent work that you guys have been doing to support the development ecosystem across board, and it's really insightful, and I so much believe in the future of this country, and I hope we have this quickly and learn a lot. You can always reach out to me at the end of this training or at any other point so that we get connected. All right, so let's move. Let's break the ice and let's move the next slide. Strategic grant writing proposal development for sustainable development goals projects I mean, whether you're in Nigeria or not. Let's move to the next slide. I'm not seeing. Okay, so let's break the ice, guys. Just put, I can monitor from YouTube. So I just wanted to put directly on YouTube. What would, having opportunity to get funding, win grants, get partnership, support, what will it be for you? If I can ask maybe few persons, what would having more funding, having more grants do for your initiative? I know we have a lot of initiatives and so many things. So what will it do for you? Is it going to put more money into your pocket, or is it going to put more money into your initiative? Is it going to allow you to make more impact? Is it going to allow you to touch more lives? Is it going to allow you to? I'm not seeing anything on YouTube. Do we have people following?
Yes, they are. So the YouTube has like a minute feedback before they can be able to
Okay.
catch up. But I'm sure they will send in their answers.
Okay. Okay, so let's move to the next slide then. So since that works. Okay. The reason I asked the question is because I want to be very sure that
So
we
they're
have.
already responding.
Oh, okay, more impact,
So someone
sustainable
say more
community
impact, yes.
impact. So it's help proper execution of my project and touch more lives. It helps. Oh, okay, so great. I'll paint scenarios, maybe just one because of our time, because we need to move. In 2025, two small organizations, NGOs now, apply for grants to same donor, or funding agencies, or whatever INGO you want to call them. One got rejected immediately, and the other received 5-year grants. The difference in what happened between the two, in parts of Africa, my work covers Global South, so beyond Africa. I train organization beyond Africa, so I can say a bit of the ecosystem within Africa. So in this part of Africa, we're probably going to believe that other organization that receive 5-year grants, they are lucky, they are fortunate, a bit of maybe their prayer has been answered, probably whatever you believe in. But I can tell you categorically, as someone within the space and has worked a bit within the ecosystem, that it's never a function of luck. Three things happens to any organization that wins grants, or any individual that wants to win. The NYFF grant is an individual grant. Of course, there's one for organization, but I've won the NYFF grant before as an individual and for organization. So it was never a result of luck, but I can tell you three things that happen: readiness, clarity, and strategy. Those are the three things that wins grant for any serious-minded person or any organization that really aspiring to win grants. Again, readiness, clarity, and strategy. If you're not ready, uh, internally and externally, if you don't have the clarity and clear understanding of the project and your initiative, if you don't have the strategy to engage, you're definitely going to be that other organization that was rejected. And I say here, as we move to the next slide, that grants are not about size. They are always about strategy and alignment. Yes, I'll dive into strategy and alignment as we move on, but just to lay that as foundation to what the nature of conversation we want to have here, as we continue. Next slide, please. Just be calm with me and enjoy the moment. I know there are specific things I need to address. Everything is on the slide. All right, thank you. So let's just look at the ecosystem. Understanding the ecosystem, and the mindset of every individual that wants to win grants. So I'll clear your mindset and also tell you the mindset of the person that wants to give you. So this person can be a donor organization, INGO, bilateral, multilateral. So we're going to go deep into that and you understand better. So let me say this, and if you have this mindset, that will sharpen your understanding and allow you to have a lot of rethinking on how you implement your program. Grant is an investment, not donation. All right. This is very uncomfortable, but I must say it again and again. And you keep hearing it even as we move on. Grant is an investment. So do not treat their grant as investment. and not donation. You know, we hear donation religiously, hear donation maybe from church, from mosque, politicians donate, and yeah, those are the guys that donate. Uh, Donors are not, we call them donors, but they are not donating to you. They are investing in, things that are very important, whether social issue or community-based related issues. Another thing you need to clear your mind and know is that funders, whether donor, bilateral, multilateral, private, philanthropics, and other funders generally now, they operate like venture capitalists, right? They operate as capitalists, and the reason why they operate as capitalists is because they are investing in social impact, right? So venture capitalists, they have a goal. There's something they really want to change, and that's the part of social impact you must understand. And again, another thing you need to understand is every donor has a specific mission, mandate, strategic agenda, right? Just know this, and you don't run all around chasing donors that doesn't align with the kind of work you do, or speaking to the wrong person while you just burning off your time, investing time in something that is not going to work. And finally, NGO sector is now highly competitive. It's becoming a highly competitive market. So again, back to readiness, clarity, and strategy. So if you are not ready, if you don't have the strategy, if you are not clear about what you want to do, then you're going to be bust out, and you keep writing grants, keep doing whatever you're doing, and it's not going to work. And I can tell you, I think I wrote an article a few days ago on my LinkedIn page, and I said, passion without funding is going to be frustrating, right? If you have the passion, you have everything. You can pull off community people. You have the passion to solve the problem of out of school children in Nigeria now that is a bit over 18 million across board. You have the passion to put pipe on water somewhere. You have the passion to, turn things around, literacy, numeracy, mobile library. You want to touch the lives of people around you. Um, it's very good, but you need something to fuel the passion, which is funding. You need a lot of funding. When you have a lot of funding, you can be rest assured that your passion is going to, swim well, dive well, and you make a lot of impact. You'll be happy, the community be happy. All right, next slide. I hope you're following me gradually. Um, Okay, so next slide, thanks. There are different kinds of donor, and these are just for awareness. And so you don't just run around, uh, you don't just run around and want to chase everybody, right? There are different kinds of donor, all right? And when you know this, you know the people, the specific individual that you want to approach, right? So in general, right, we have bilateral donors, and bilateral donors are always development agencies within your country, right? Development agency within your country, like FCDO, right? Like GIZ, like JICA, like AFD for the French, FCDO for UK government, GIZ for the German government, JICA for Japan, AFD for France, which is the French development, QUACA for Korean, we have NORAD, we have CEDA, we have CEDA for Canada, we have CEDA for Sweden, and so many of these. So they are bilateral donor organizations. So you can see projects that FCD is funding, GIZ is funding. So, GIZ, all of these guys are bilateral organizations, and so some of them fund small NGOs across board. They are multilateral organizations, multilateral like the UN general, right? The UN organization, whether it's ILO, whether it's UNDP, UNICEF, World Bank, AFD, and other international bodies. So they are multilateral donors. Now we have foundations, right? The likes of Gate Foundation, Ford, your MacArthur, your MasterCard Foundation, your Ford Foundation. I mean, so many of these guys. And in Nigeria, we have a lot of foundations. We have the Aliko Dangote Foundation, Tony Elumelu Foundation, and so many of them are doing amazing work in Nigeria. The other part, which is something that we're not really paying attention to, is the corporate organizations that does a lot of corporate social responsibility work. You've seen, if you watch Arise TV or any of this TV very well, you see Polaris Bank advertising, you see Zenith Bank, maybe UBA advertising their cervical cancer project, Polaris Bank advertising that they've supported OVCs, orphan and vulnerable children, or allow girls in school, and all of these projects. You see Fidelity Bank advertising what they are doing with women, supporting women. You see OPE partnering with Lagos Food Bank, right? So these are corporate opportunities. You see MTN everywhere. MTN building pipe-on water, renovating schools, and so many. You've seen Glow, initiative of Glow, Airtel, and some of these telecom companies. Energy sector, whether it's Shell, Chevron, NMPCL, and so many of these corporate organizations. And it's not limited to this field I've mentioned. So you have to just look inward. I've been on a project where we have partnership from Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Indomie. I mean, these are corporate social responsibility from some of these guys. So instead of you to keep running towards an ecosystem that has been really, really, a lot of funding cuts and the like. So you may start thinking of approaching some of these corporate organizations, whether you have a boot camp project or something. So instead of it running around for donors, you can just speak with Coca-Cola, try to get in touch with Coca-Cola, First Bank, any of these organizations. They may not give you money directly, probably support you with some materials. Being on the projects where we got Pepsi to support us with bag, with water bottle, a lot of stuff for kids, right? So these are very important things to know. And finally, we have what we call international organizations working in Nigeria. So you're aware of your International Alert Save the Children, you're aware of your IRC, TF Fund, and many of these organizations that work. So these are donors that are within your ecosystem. These are donors you can work with. These are donors you can reach out to on your project. These are donors you can keep updated on their website, on their LinkedIn page. Sorry, I'll speak more of LinkedIn because that's the social media I think I use more often. So you can monitor their work and see the opportunity that comes. All right, thank you. Next slide. And I hope we're learning. So yeah, let's move now. Interesting conversation already, but let's dive a bit deeper into it now. What donor really wants? Not every donor wants to support you, but if you are strategically positioned, you will get, everything you need from any donor you want, but you need to know what they want, right? So the number one thing here is donor wants a strong problem backed by verifiable data. Nobody's expecting you to just cook something and just put some lies together to get money from them. They want verifiable, evidence-based, right? So in your project, as you keep doing whatever you're doing within your space, you need to know how to gather verifiable and evidence-based data. And within Nigeria, so using Nigeria as a case study, I'll tell you that the most reliable data bank of Nigeria is the National Bureau of Statistics. So there are other bodies where you can get data, verifiable data from, maybe your governments. Really, most time we don't really have data in Nigeria, but there are other sources like the multilateral organization, UNICEF data. The out of school data that I just quoted the other time was from UNICEF, right? Above 18 million, I think 18.3. Now they're saying 20 million, which is a sad one for us. But don't really want to see the data, right? Verifiable, not something you just slept, woke up, dreamt about something, and you said you want to use it to get funding. It's not possible, right? So the next thing is evidence that you can deliver. This is your capacity. So this has nothing to do with are you operating an organization or you're an individual. I said when NYFF started, I was part of the the people that won the individual grants when it started. So this is about what I have done and how I'm able, or I was able to sell out what I've done, right? So that shows my capacity. And if you run an organization, you need to show your capacity, that you have that competency. You are an authority within your space and your ecosystem or the sector where you're working, and you can deliver whatever you said you are doing or you are requesting from donor to do for you. All right. Another thing is clear outcomes and measurable results. Right. So donor want to see clear outcomes. Right. You're not just doing program for program's sake. Nobody is paying you money to just go and show yourself as I am here. I have access to donor. No. People want to see clear outcomes, and that's why they are venture capitalists, right? And that's why it's an investment. All right. They are not expecting profit, but they are expecting outcomes. They are expecting measurable results. So most of the time when you write your proposal, when you write your applications, concept notes, you want to call them, uh, amidst many other reasons, we're still going to talk about a lot of stuff. But when you are not able to show clear outcomes and measurable impact, I can tell you that it's not going to be funded. Now I review, proposals, review and, support team to also do a lot of this stuff. And I can tell you that outcomes and measurable results are very important to note. Another thing is accountability, compliance, financial integrity. This is a, very serious stuff, right? I've seen a lot of organizations saying, oh, they want to apply for grants. They are really interested. They have the passion, but they don't have the integrity. Someone somewhere just wants to get the money and run away with the money, right? I mean, jackpot, that's the common stuff right now. Yeah, someone just wants to get the money and jackpot with the money. So when donor sense that you don't have financial integrity, and financial integrity is going to be shown by your records, right? The size of funding you've managed before, and so many of this stuff that we'll still talk about later. But accountability is very important. Compliance, every of the compliance within the ecosystem. No, so this is majorly for people that you operate in an organization. Accountability, compliance, and financial integrity is very important. And finally, on that, strict alignment with their strategic goals, right? These are very important stuff. You must align yourself with the donor strategic goal, right? If you don't align yourself, you just successfully wasted your time, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work if you don't align yourself. You will just end up doing some stuff that are not corresponding. All right, are we together? Next slide, please. Okay, so just to understand the global trends, let me just quickly rush through this. We know 2024, 2025, and okay, so let me take us back a bit. Since COVID era, 2019, 2020, a lot of things have really changed. So from then, a lot of modification, addressing issues differently, and donors, a lot of donors closed down and the likes. But when President Trump, the president of the United States, came in, USAID gone, a lot of organizations were shut down, and it's really affected. So when we say global trends, yeah, where is the money really going to? So where should you focus your work? Yeah, there's a bit of localization, and again, you have to understand the sectors that really works for you now. And the sectors ranges from anything around youth initiative. That's always a place to put your mind, whatever you're doing with young people, especially in Nigeria, where we have well over 65% of the population of the country as young people. So you have to think of initiative innovations that includes young people, innovations that creates jobs. We have over 53% unemployment, regardless of the rebasing that NBC has done, well, we have well over 53% unemployment. So you have to think on initiative like that solve some of these problems: climate change, education, digital literacy. And you're not doing digital literacy and thinking, writing how to use computer on the board. The world has moved to conversation around robotic science, AI, all of this humanoid, and some of this stuff that you hear people say. So, and let me just say this, that if you're planning any initiative in 2026, you have to learn what we call integration. Project integration, very important. If you don't understand project integration, you probably not going to get the best in 2026 and beyond. So data demand, donor requiring stronger MIE, monitoring, evaluation, learning, and adaptation. And finally, growing preference for consortium and partnership. So you go, I think there's a saying that you go fast when you work alone, but you go farther, as long and as much as you want to go when you go with people, especially people within your ecosystem and people or probably likes mind, right? Like mind people that aligns and believes in the kind of work you do. So please keep exploring partnership. These are also a bit of alternative funding that I can tell us. All right, next slide, please. Are we together? Sorry, I have a lot of backgrounds to just to let you know that this is not just about you want to write grants. You want to write grants. If you don't understand some of these things, you keep repeating the same mistakes, and nothing will happen. All right, why do you need to tick the box? This is very important. You need to understand some of the few things I've said earlier because you don't want to waste your time. Honestly, from what I do in writing grants, supporting organization training, I train virtually every week. And from what I do in that direction, you just see that sometimes people will just write, organizations, individual will write, and this is not going to scale through. You're not a prophet of doom, but it's not going to work. Right? It's not going to work. So if you understand some of the few informations I've given earlier, it will save you from wasting your time on misaligned donor, right? There are donors you don't have business with at all. A donor is working on agric, or if you're not doing intersect or integration, working on agric. And okay, so I'll use two donors, Agra and IFAD. They largely work around agric, and you want to solve the issue of out of school, children. You want to buy them school bags, scholastic materials, and you said, oh, IFAD is the best organization I want to reach out to. I'm sorry, but it pains me to announce to you that you're not going to get anything. So you just wasted time, wasted effort. So please ensure you don't do that. And again, if you understand, it allows you to tailor your proposal to specific mandates. All right, you tailor your proposal to specific mandates of the donor. Also drastically improve your success rate. If you are doing the right thing, you will get the right results. If you're not doing the right thing, you're not going to get the right results. So guys, your success rate is my interest. That's why I've taken all of those introduction. And finally, build long-term donor relationship and not transactional one. This is very important because a lot of organizations in this part of the world, we have been building transactional relationship. A lot of individuals. So when you go for your meetings, you go for your seminars, you go for your workshops, and you meet high-profile people, you quickly get their complimentary cards, and all you're building is transactional relationship. You just want to get from them. You're not building relationship that's going to last, right? So after this meeting, by tomorrow, probably you're going to attend any meetings, any workshop, training, capacity building. When you get people's complimentary card, learn how to build relationship first. Most of the organizations that are working in Nigeria today, working in Global South, Africa, all of this part of the world, that's, they are not really affected with the funding cuts, whether it's from the US, from the UK. It's because Individuals, maybe the leadership of the organization, they've successfully built long-lasting relationship and not just transactional. The Nigeria kind of bring I want, and you're not giving back anything. All right, next slide. I think we are now going into some of the real conversation. So what funders or investors, now I have to use the word investors, so you still have that pictorial understanding that they are not just giving donations to you, they are investors expecting some level of impact, outcomes, and measurable results. So what do they really want? So by as you keep working within this ecosystem, you want to write well, but understand what people want. When you understand what your donor wants, you sit over it, deliberate, brainstorm, assemble your arsenal, like spread out your tentacle what they want, and I can give, back what they want to them. So what do they really want? A lot of things, a lot of stuff that donor really want, but I'll give you a few of those stuff that they want. I've mentioned this, but let me just say it again. And when I say it again, please know that this is very important. Strategic alignments with their goals, very important. What's their mandate? The donor you want to speak with, do you even know what they are doing in Nigeria or within your state or your region? There are donors that are not working in your regions. Probably you are in Southeast, South. They are not there. Their focus is Northeast, Northwest, because of the peculiarity of their work and the kind of problem they are solving. So if you are reaching out to them, you're just wasting your time, right? So strategic alignment with donor mandates, specific goals, and priorities, very important. Again, evidence-based problem identification. You have to identify the problem not just by sleeping and waking up, by backing it up with verifiable data. Things happening within your community. How do you put data, put information together and get it done? All right. The next is your story. So when I say your story, your organization story, your experience, your capacity. Don't want to see that strength. They want to see that you are an organization that will give them visibility and their potential will be known through your organization. So your organization story, your story, if you're an individual working, you've not set up your organization yet, your story, your project experience, your capacity, the scope of your work, the extent, the impact you've made in people's life, they want to see it. Strong theory of change, realistic and measurable outcomes. Again, they want to see your organization credibility and governance system. If you have an organization here, you need to rejig your governance system, right? Very important. If you don't rejig your governance system, a lot of things would have needed go on because donors will not trust you, funders will not trust you. You don't have a strong governance system. If you register, you have board members, you don't do your meetings. If you are familiar with the CAMA, the CAC CAMA Act, you see that there are a lot of things that are invested on board decision making, whether it's at the managerial level, directorial level, and some of these things, your organogram, all of these are very important. Your framework, monitoring and evaluation learning framework, your sustainability plan. I will talk a bit about sustainability plan, I think, in the other slides. Well, because of our time, I need to move a bit forward. Transparency in your budget. I will also speak about that. Track record, your impact story, your digital footprint. Your digital footprint, whether it's a website, social media handle that can speak about your work. You submitted an application to us and we want to go and search for your work. We can't find it anywhere. We went to your social media. The only thing we were seeing there is how you were hitting rice in shop right or shop left, or it's not going to work, right? Because donor want to see that you have track record. You said you have been working for over 100 years. We want to see it. Your works are not invisible. right? They are not invisible. Your work are never invisible. Your work should be everywhere, right? Your work should be everywhere. You should be able to be proud of the kind of work you're doing and be able to put it out. So instead of you posting, yeah, please just allow my bias for other social media and do instead of you posting swimming with my friends, you know the kind of work you're doing. You need visibility. So posting that you went to shop right or shop left to go and eat, or posting that you went on tour or something, we don't give you that kind of visibility except you're doing Pella stuff or any of these guys, right? So what you need to do is to tell people about the kind of work you're doing. You went to a community today, you identify one issue and you need to resolve it. Tell your story. So digital footprint is very important. If you don't have the capacity or the money to run a website, why not invest your time in other social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, or LinkedIn? So you can just keep putting your work there till you get money to, build a website. All right. Are you following, please? If you're following, let me know. Next slide, please, as we continue. Thank you. Um, Yeah, people are following, and thanks for following. So we are going straight into it now. What is grants? About grant writing and grants, everything you want to learn about grants. Again, because of time, I'm not able to really dive deeper into some of these things. Just pick them and give you some of the information. Keep in touch with me. Follow my LinkedIn app. Majority of the things I want to share here, I've written a lot of articles on it on my LinkedIn. So it will be helpful for you to also go there and read as much as possible, whatever you want to read. So, but just to let you know that grant is a strategic investment given to create measurable social impact. I'm saying it again. This is an investment, and you must, until you correct that impression that this is not free money and you can't jackpot with somebody's money. I'm saying it now. So you don't say, this thing, it's I can easily take it. I can easily get funding or get grants and just disappear and run away with it. No, it's somebody's investment to solve a problem that you said is ravaging your community. So, and the reason is we want to see that something has improved. And I think I was in a forum by WhatsApp last week, and I just made an observation that the number of out of school in Nigeria, the number of out of school children in Nigeria keeps increasing every year. And I ask, we have over 120,000 NGOs in Nigeria. I mean, just to put it that way. So what's really going on now? We see people saying, working with orphan and vulnerable children, working with out of school, working on education projects, a lot of education projects. So is it that we are not doing the right thing, or we are not reporting, or we are not making impact? So guys, I'm telling you straight up that social impact is the end point, not just visibility for you or for your organization. Social impact. Ensure that the lives of people matters and they are being impacted. All right. We've had a lot of projects around unemployment in Nigeria, employability, entrepreneurship, but the meaning population of Nigeria is growing and the problem is, growing also. So what are we really doing? But when you have this mentality, you can solve this problem the way it should. And again, it's not repayable, but I've worked on projects where the project was mismanaged and the donor requested for their money. All right. So don't put your mind as Shebi is grant. It's not loan. You're not getting it from loan app or from Lapo or any of these guys. But you can refund it if you mismanage it. It's competitive, objective based, and always for projects. Next slide, please. Sorry, now I have to be on, I don't know the speed of light to be able to cover a lot of stuff here, guys. All right, so what is grant? I know you have your definition. We have intellectual people on the call. So I'm not going to play with your mind, but just take this definition as one village boy definition. But I mean, it's going to help you if you understand it, right? So grant is very simple, and that's why I don't want to quote Oxford Dictionary, somebody, some of these amazing guys that work within our sector and say in 2010, this was the definition it gives to grant writing. So let me give you a very simple definition of grants, and you can just follow it, ruminate, and look at it side by side with what you have been doing over the years. And I said here that as simple as this definition, I said grant is a document, a formal document that is carefully crafted. Please take that to your mind. Carefully crafted, not just waking up and writing something. No, it's carefully crafted to market. And I know when I say market, it should resonate with you. You market yourself, you market your organization, you market your initiative. So I said to market, to propose, and to advocate for an initiative or project idea. And you are submitting it to potential partners, funders, or donor agency. Right. So have that, and you can just, because whatever you are submitting, you are telling someone that you have the capacity. You are marketing your strengths, showcasing your strengths. You are proposing that there's problem in my community, there's problem in my region, there's problem in Nigeria. We want to solve it. You are proposing that no, enough is enough. We must have election reforms. We must have youth participation in government, women participation in governance in Nigeria. You are advocating for a cause, right? So you are marketing, you're proposing, you're advocating for an initiative or project idea. And you are doing that with funding agencies or funders, donor agencies or partner. And this document provides detailed information on how to effectively address a research program or problem or issue or identify issue, right? A research, and this is very important, again, evidence-based. You're not just waking up from the blues to want to do stuff, right? So you're doing it because it's something you're really passionate about and you want to solve. Very important, research based, and evidence, and you identify and you move on. So the next thing here is the aim of grant writing or proposal development is to solicit funding to support for partnership or collaboration. But let me say this: your project idea, whatsoever you're writing. So let me paint a scenario for you. You're writing to submit a grant to an organization in the US. I hope you know you are not in the US. You are in Nigeria, and you want someone to read your application and give you money. So you have to sound a lot more convincing and sound that you know exactly what you're doing, right? So because you're writing to an organization that we probably will not come to Nigeria, and your path is not going to cross. I've been on projects that I never see my donor. We never met for one day. And I doubt if we're still going to meet. Yeah, the world is big. We can meet anytime. But I doubt if that's going to happen. But you have to sound so convincing to allow them give you the money or the funding or the partnership, the kind of partnership you're looking for. So you must present yourself as fundable, and your initiative or your idea or ideas must be bankable. Fundable and bankable. There are a lot of articles around that on LinkedIn. You may want to just search for the word bankable and you will see, or fundable, you will see it. Next slide, please. I hope we're following. Apologies. I know we are I still have a bit of time, but let's just move and see what we are able to do. And for grants, I want to presume that we have a lot of people here that want to say, oh, these are the type of grant writing, or these are the type of grants. These are the kinds of grants. If you're following on YouTube, I'd like to also see, can you tell us the types of grants, fundings, or the type of grants that you know? I'd like to see that on YouTube, the types of grants that you are aware, you're familiar with, the types of grant that you know. Let's see if we can have one or two persons tell us what they really know, the type of grants. But we have different forms of grants, and just to let you know that whatsoever you know, I respect, and you are not wrong. Maybe when we get to that point, I'll let you know you are not wrong. But grant is divided into two. You either have your solicited, which is application-based, published, advertised, competitive, or you have your unsolicited. So I give definition to solicited and unsolicited. So solicited grants application are those that are duly published or advertised by a specific donor agency for particular programs. It could be gender-based violence, it could be education, scholastic, initiative, mobile library. It could be supporting anything. But you can be rest assured that it will be duly published and advertised to support the program, projects, thematic area, and the likes. I also need to let you know that it can also come in form of tenders or bids, right? It can come in form of tenders or bid. You just bid for it and the likes. And that's why it's really highly competitive. Solicited funding is always competitive. That you see just one call for application, you see 5,000 or even over 10,000 applicants, writing to ask for the same kind of money you're asking for. So that's why you need to be thorough. You need to understand this ecosystem very well so you can scale through, right? So I put an example here, and this is a very current application. If you're really interested in it, it would be nice to explore it. It's a recent application, and it's closing. It's closing by the 31st of May. Please confirm if you can hear me from Zoom. I just think
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Thanks. So it's closing on the 31st of May this month. It's something you can explore, but this is just an example of solicited because it's been published and thousands of organizations will want to apply for it. And the next one is unsolicited, and you see unsolicited most time. Depends on how well you're able to leverage your influence, your network. So you remember what I said the last time, that you go for trainings, go for workshop, you go for policy dialogue or dialogue program, you meet people, you collect their complimentary cards. Some will just collect it and keep it. No follow-up, So why do you just allow the person to waste their complimentary card if you know you're not going to follow up and push up the conversation with them again? So guys, unsolicited is just you networking, leveraging your networks. They are not always published. It's just coded because someone has invested trust in you, or you built relationship, and that can earn you something like that, or technical partnership or recommendation. And again, you remember when I was talking about the types of donor the other time? Corporate social responsibility always come in forms of unsolicited. Your company recommendation, connection with somebody, probably at the embassy or donor organization that can give you money. So these are two profound forms of grants. Next slide, please. I believe we are following. Also, to clear, I've seen on YouTube that some people are saying corporate grants. A lot of types of grants on YouTube already. But guys, these are the ones that I'm able to put together for types of grants for you. Research grants, travel or tourist grants, innovation grants, which is probably a hackathon or startup grants, entrepreneurship grant. One example of entrepreneurship grant that you can quickly remember in Nigeria is the Tole Elumelu Foundation grant. The $5,000 grant is an entrepreneurship based grant. And I think WTO did a project last year in Nigeria for women. It's also an entrepreneurship grant, institutional support grant, project implementation grants, biodiversity or conservation grants, and many more. You talked about corporate, you are right. If you talk about corporate and so many other forms, other types of grants that you know. All right, next slide. So understanding grants guideline, this is very important. So for you to apply for grants, you need to understand the guidelines. What are the most important things that should cross your mind when you're applying for grants? The most important things are very, a lot of things to cross your mind, but the number one thing is there for you to understand the anatomy of a typical call for application of a proposal of grants generally when it's solicited. Now you need to understand what's the anatomy, understand the structure of what you want to apply for. Don't just jump on an application because, hey guys, there's one application, let's quickly go and apply. You never read, you never reviewed, there was no brainstorming, debriefing, all of this conversation. You never took your time to even understand, can you apply really for this? Are you qualified to apply for it? So let me use the NYFF for example. There are lots of organizations that applied for the grant, but they weren't conscious of one thing. I said it, I did a lot of review on that application for some organization. They were very conscious of the fact that they specifically said the age range to apply for that grant is between 18 to 35 years. So imagine you have an organization and you're 40 years, 50, 60 years, and you apply for that grant. You just successfully wasted your time. You're not going to get it, whether it's the individual grant or the other grants, the development grant, right? So you're not going to get it because the age range is 18 to 35, right? So you understand the anatomy of a typical call. That will help you. Again, eligibility criteria, thematic area. You're working on XYZ, and application is saying ABC, and you still went ahead to apply. Come on. Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? You just wasted time, right? Your thematic area of focus, and of course, additional documents that is requested or required. Okay. The next thing is target audience or geographical scope. You said you are based in Abuja, Nigeria. Automatically, you're working in North Central, right? North Central region of Nigeria. And an application, call for an application, you don't have office anywhere else. It's just North Central, Abuja based. And there is a call for application that is saying organization from South Nigeria, Rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, and the likes, and you're applying for it. That is no longer your geographical scope. You've wasted time again. Or let me paint an example, very controversial one anyway. Target audience now. You're working with young people. You're working with youth group, right? Some organization will say youth group, youth-led, young people, right? So you're working with young people. And an application is saying adolescent girls. Who knows the definition of that word, adolescent girls? So it means girls that are not up to 18 years, right? By the definition of what adolescent girls means. And your own target audience, according to your mission, vision, how you craft your organization, your impact story, and the like, they are youths, young people, right? Possibly you're working in election, civic responsibility, youth participation in governance or politics and the likes. And you're putting your head to go and apply for project with adolescent girls, which you have no track record with. Then you're wasting time. So you have to understand your target audience, your geographical, your geographic scope or geographical location. Your demographic scope and your geographical scope are very important. Donor expectation and project outcome. I've said a lot about this, so I'll leave that. Donor language. You guys, there are language that the donor speaks. If you get to banks, there are language they speak in banks. Banks in Nigeria, generally the commerce or commercial ecosystem in Nigeria, there are language the medical people speaks. I can tell you, I mean, authoritatively that there are language donor speaks. If you are not able to speak those languages, use their phrase, use their register, their verbs, their value, is still as good as you will not get the grant. Again, another thing you need to understand is assessing your internet capacity before you apply. Are you able to apply? There are grants, they will say you should be able to, your annual budget should be within the range of $500,000 and $1 million. And your own annual budget is like 10 million naira. I mean, and 10 million naira is less than how much in dollars. And you want to go and apply for grants, which they're specifically saying that your annual budget should be within a certain range. So, guys, understand your internal capacity before you apply. Another thing is document assembling. You have to assemble your documents. What are they asking for? Asking for CV, asking for your certificate of registration, asking for a lot of stuff. Maybe whatsoever they are asking for, your annual budget, your impact story report, all of this, you need to assemble it before you even start writing. And finally, are there donor templates? On the donor templates, are there word counts? Expected page, the US diplomacy grant. I'm very familiar. I've won it before. I'm very familiar with that. They will always tell you the expected page, maybe sometimes 4 pages, sometimes 10 pages, maybe depending on the size of the grant. If you write 15 pages, you're not going to win. If the word count is asking you for 250 words, and you are putting 500 words, you're already drifted from the direction where you win. And this is now where it's become so complex. If they're asking you for 500 characters, you must be patient enough to know that is it 500 character with space or without space? These are little mistakes that people make. And you see, coming to me every time and telling me, oh, our grants, we've been writing for years. We've not been able to win. I'm sorry, but are you really taking to cognizance some of these things? Donor templates. Because you have a template that we use in our organization, just use it, boom. And you're not mindful that there is a budget template attached to the call. There is a MIE framework attached to the call. There is story of change template attached to the call. If you're not careful with some of these things, you will keep getting rejection or rejected. Next slide, please. I hope you're following. Yeah, where can you get funding? I mean, these are some of the topics they really want me to deal with. So let me go straight. Where can you get funding? A lot of funding flying around. Depends on how best you're able to. If this were to be a real masterclass that I know we have time, probably I'll show you some of the ways to go about it. Just switch my slide or something, but we don't really have time. But just take some of this information. Where can you get funding? You get it from different platforms, from developmental aid, funds for NGO jobs, opportunity desk, grant station, youth opportunity, youth Africa. A lot of some of these platforms will give you grants that you want, right? A lot of them will give you grants that you want, that you really want. And again, you can track funders that aligns with your ecosystem, your niche, or wherever you're doing. Maybe you're working on gender-related projects. Track some funders that are within your space. Open Society Foundation, Ford Foundation. A lot of Trust Africa application just went by last Friday or something. So track or Thursday, sorry. Track organizations or funders. If you're tracking Gates Foundations in Nigeria, tracking them, go to their websites, read about their work, go to their LinkedIn page, and go get whatsoever you want to get from them. And follow donor on LinkedIn, newsletter, grants, calendar, and the likes. Engage locally with embassies, bilateral organizations, INGOs in Nigeria, regional body, and finally, if you're looking for grant opportunities that you can apply for, you can visit my LinkedIn pages. My LinkedIn page, I post grants opportunity, every month, every week, sometimes every day, sometimes. So you can go there, check some of the opportunities that are there. One of the things that when we started all of this posting of grants that I'm doing currently, it's because in a little survey that we did, we discovered that informations are not out for people to leverage. Some of these platforms, interestingly, when you want to join them, you have to pay. Some as much as £500, some as much as $120. You have to pay to subscribe and get their premium package. So yeah, for some of us that are able to pay, now we can bring the information for you. Now it's on your desk. Apply for it. And you can again visit my LinkedIn page, like I said, apply, check some opportunities that are there, and you can put yourself together and apply the one that resonates and connects with you. But I need to emphasize my last point: engage locally, do courtesy visits, exploratory meetings, visit, attend programs, get cards, complimentary cards, follow up, organize meetings, and grants. I can tell you for fact that grants opportunities, money lying down in Nigeria in millions of dollars, millions, if not billions of dollars. But if you are not out there, it will not come and meet you sitting down. If you are not pushing your work, if you are not making noise about the kind of work you're doing, you will not definitely get it. Let's move to the next slide. I hope I still have maybe 7 more minutes. I'll just round up by that. The next one, please. Someone there? Okay, thanks. No. The last one before SWOT analysis. Yeah, thanks. That's exactly. Okay, so why NGOs fail to win grants? I'll tell you quickly. The number one thing is you don't pay attention to call for application. That document that they write attached is the call for application document, or attached is the application pack. You don't pay attention. That's why you fail. Sometimes you just go straight. Let's go and apply. Let's go and apply. It's closing tomorrow. No, it's not going to work that way. So pay attention to call for application, request for proposal, bid document, read, digest, understand, know specifically what you're doing. In fact, I always advise people, when you see a call for application, regardless whether it's individual or organization, please take time and read first before you apply. Number two is quoting false data of painting fake scenario because you think they said we should write emotionally, connect to the heart of the donor. You're not painting fake scenarios or false data. I can bet with you that they will get you down and you will still not get the money. And it's not even good for your organization optics, right? It's not good for your credibility. Get your data right. I've given you information on what we know as primary data bank in Nigeria, National Bureau of Statistics. You can get data from them, get data from, you can conduct needs assessments or baseline assessments, pull off your data together, use it instead of quoting false data or fake, painting fake scenario, thinking that by doing that, the world is a global village. Whatsoever you're telling me now, I can copy it, put it on Google and ask, I need some more information about this, and it will bring it. If it's not there, it means you've done something wrong, right? So the next one is using vague or jargon every problem statement. Let me say this and make it clear. Grant writing is not about your vocabulary. Nobody is going to pick up dictionary to read your grant application. So please don't use vague or jargon heavy language and just literally be sounding like Honorable Patrick Obayabo. Nobody is going to read your bra or crinkle crankle. The situation in the community is crinkle crankle, is iggy aga. nobody will read that. I mean, you because a reviewer sometimes may probably want to review a thousand, if not more than that. Now that we have AIs that we use to review application, but sometimes someone wants to review hundreds of application, and you are busy putting igiaga, trying to let them know that you can speak vocabulary. Well, safe journey when you get your rejection, but it's an advice that use as much as possible simple resonating English and just put it straight the way it is. Don't coin it. Let them know that you understand and you're not trying to confuse yourself and also confuse the person, reading your application. All right. Again, over budgeting, under budgeting, there's a cap for that, but do not over budget. Not necessarily say, because it's grand. A laptop that is worth 1 million, you're saying 10 million naira. Somebody will ask you, what's the spec of the laptop? And they will go online and get the spec and say, this laptop is 1 million. Why are you putting 10 million? And when they see that occurring multiple times on your application, it's not going to go well. And under budgeting means you are under budgeting yourself, where you're also spend 500 naira, you're saying you can spend 250 naira. And when you get to the bridge and you're not able to cross, where will you get the 250 to balance your 500? So don't under budget yourself. Failing to align the project with the target audience and stakeholder. Weak or copy and pasting from previous application. Guys, you can copy and paste, but ensure you review. I think I wrote an article around blind copy. You can go again on my LinkedIn, you read about it. Ensure when you are copying from somewhere to a new application, align it, ensure it's matched with what you are copying into before you just copy and paste something and it's not working. All right. So again, I've written a lot of articles around blind copying in proposal writing. So visit my LinkedIn again and read about that. Incoherence in organization track record. You said yesterday that you've worked with 50,000 people. Today you are saying 10,000. Tomorrow you said no, it's even 1,000. When people start looking at gaps in your track record, you are beating down your integrity and credibility. And no donor will invest in that kind of organization. Last minute submission, no, this is bad and I don't agree with it, because there can be technical glitches, there can be internet, power might just go off or something, network can disappoint you. So submit your grant 48 hours, 72 hours before the deadline. It allows you to beat every other thing that can cause technical glitches that will hinder your submission. Lack of follow-up or post-award engagement. Relationship building is very important. Zero, unclear or vague sustainability plan. One of the reasons why they will give you funding or grants is because they want to see your sustainability plan. After the money ends, what becomes of your projects? So many organizations in Nigeria are failing because we don't have sustainability plans. All right. So try as much as possible. Think when you are planning your project from ideation to execution to implementation, please think about sustainability plan and let them not see your sustainability plan. When they see, they'll be able to believe that these guys really understand what they are doing, right? They understand what they are doing. Next slide, please. Because of time, I'm really, really pressed for time. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. Apologies. SWOT analysis, okay, so let me just talk a bit about it. For every organization, if you have been writing grants and it's not working, you've been submitting application and it's not working, I will advise you, do a thorough SWOT analysis of your organization. I'm begging you. You can't continue to fail. You can't continue to get rejection. A rejection letter is not becoming love letter. No, 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 no. In 2026 and beyond, we want you to win. Even individual. Look at your previous application. Are there things you weren't writing well, right? So go and correct it. Okay, go and fix it. And it can be from SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Your strength shows you your internal advantage and your core competencies. Your weaknesses show you a bit of your internal gaps area of improvement that you need to improve on, the opportunities, that's your growth and your funding perspectives or perspectives, or your opportunities around areas of leverage and competitive advantage to you. And your, of course, strengths, your external risk, and some of the challenges that you're facing to deliver on your project. Next slide, please. Because this is very important. I'm asked to touch about the structure of concept notes, development, and grant application. So let me do that quickly. Let's move. So I'm the next slide. I did this because I want you to just have a broader overview of it. So you can use this same format for concept note development. You can use it for your proposal writing. It's almost the same structure across board, regardless of whether your grant is US grant, UK grant, European Union grants, Nigeria-based, West Africa-based grant. Every grant will definitely ask you for project title. And even if you are doing your concept notes, whether it's 2-pager, a 3-pager, or a 1-pager, you need a project title. And I said for you to choose a project title, your project title must communicate the core results and not just activity. Your project title should not tell us your activity. Your project title should push us to see your core results. And by seeing that, we are able to say, oh, this project is fundable and bankable. Don't forget that word I used the other time, fundable and bankable. So that's one thing you should put in mind when you are crafting your project title. Your project title should reflect innovation and uniqueness. Your project title must be short and memorable. And please don't forget, this innovation thing is very important. Nobody is just saying we're advancing capacity building for 100 people in one village, in my village, somewhere in Nigeria. All right. No, we don't. Let it reflect a bit of innovations, because the world has really moved from the analog way of development engagement to a digitalized way, right? So whatsoever you are doing, regardless of the geographical demography you're working with, add a bit of innovation to it. It should clearly shows the target audience, your location when it's relevant. It should mirror donor language. Understand your donor language before you craft your project title. It should hint at long-time change and must be free of jargon, right? It's very important. Don't use too many. I saw someone on YouTube saying, "Can I write in my mother tongue?" Well, all the best. If the grant application is asking you to write in your mother tongue, go ahead and write. But if not, don't just use a vocabulary that is not connecting with what you're doing. Next slide, please. Sorry, I need to move. Okay, executive summary. I will always advise that your executive summary be 250 max, 250 words max, and it should be 1 paragraph or max 2 paragraphs. Your executive summary shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 paragraphs, and it should clearly tell us about the problem, the target group, the solution you are bringing. So let me clear this. So when I say the solution you are bringing, I'm talking about your activities, your project activities or project components, your methodology or your scope. So whichever one that resonates with you, just know that that's what I'm addressing here. Yeah. When I talk about the solution, the kind of solution you're bringing, you should also let us see your expected results. What do you really want to achieve with all of these things that you said you're doing? The amount you're requesting for, whether $1,000 or $1.5 million, right? You should also add it to it if you still have enough space. All these other from your requested amounts, why your organization is the best. This depends largely on if you have space, to really talk about it. Why your organization is the best. You need to talk about it. Let them see that without you, they can't do this program. Is by marketing yourself, by selling yourself. And if you're an individual that wants to apply for grants, let them see your competencies and your capacity. So when people see your competency and your capacity, they see how you're able to mobilize across board. Then you position yourself rightly. The next slide, please. Problem statements. I think this is very important. When you look at the diagram, or the picture or something that I'm adding, see, I put thinking cap. This is where you need to put on your thinking cap if there's something like that. Very important. What to include are recent credible statistics, evidence of urgency. These are, when you look at some of these things, you just know that you must get it right. Evidence of urgency, your data must be recent and credible. Why the funder should care about the problem you said you want to solve. The human elements of the problem. Clear and emotionally resonating. These are very important things. Again, credible statistics. Don't just cook up any data or something. And why is this problem urgent? And let me paint a picture to you now about evidence of urgency. Let's use we started with an example of the number of out of school children in Nigeria. Why is it urgent for us to solve the problem of out of school children in Nigeria, if I may ask? Okay, so because of time, let me just quickly answer that myself. The reason, if you are building evidence of urgency, is that the problem we refused to solve yesterday that has brought us to maybe 18 million or 18.3 or 20 million out of school children is the reason why we are where we are today. And the reasons are as follows: insecurity, banditry, a lot of violence, terrorism that is plaguing this country is as a result of, you've watched TV and you've seen the children's soldiers, the small bandit guys and the likes, right? These guys should be in school, but because they are not in school, they are doing something that the nation has pushed them into. So that's the evidence of urgency, the human element, and all of these things just need to be added to it. The next slide, please. The art of grant writing is story plus data. I can tell you that as someone within this space, I can tell you that if your data is not connecting with your story, I'm sorry, but nothing is not going to happen. That's the art. That's the real big deal in grant writing. Your data speaks to the mind, your story speaks to the heart, right? So your data must connect with your story. And it's very important when building your problem statements. Next slide, please. Okay, so your goals and your objectives, very important. Your goal, your objective must be SMART. And when I mean SMART, I mean specific, simple, measurable, attainable, achievable, realistic or relevant, and time-bound. And your goal and objective must align with the projects you said you want to do. These are very important. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because of time. I really want to cover, but we don't have time. If we had our time, maybe I'll explain, but just understand. I think I've written a bit of article. Yeah, I've written a bit of article around SMART goals and objectives. So please, again, I recommend it. Go and read it. And you can really understand how to craft goals and objectives that are very smart, that we can say it's measurable, it's attainable, it's realistic, it's relevant. You will not write a project or a proposal and say, I want to solve the problem of electricity in Nigeria in less than 2 weeks. Even a minister could not do it. Federal government has not been able to solve it. So is that realistic? No, it's not going. It's not attainable, right? So you have to understand the thinking around that. The next slide. Theory of change. In summary, your theory of change starts from your input. Your input is everything that you assemble to make your activities work, right? So from your input to your activities are your solution and the things you want to do. You want to train, build a capacity of 100 people, you want to do XYZ, those are your activities. Your outputs are the immediate result of your activities, right? What is happening? You said you want to train 100 people and you have trained 100 people. That's your output. Your outcome is the expected outcome of the project. After you have trained 100 people, what becomes of them in short time or in medium time, right? Those are the outcome and the impact. 2 years, a year, 3 years, 5 years after your project, what's happening within your sector. And again, the logic that is very simple, powerful, and deliverable. That's what your theory of change should represent. It must, in terms of logic, it must be simple, powerful, and it's something you're able to deliver. The next slide, please. Your project or proposed activities or your components or your methodology, you want to call it, your scope, whatever you're calling it, your project activities or your proposed activity activities must be clear and well structured. Justification for each of the project activities. Please don't just put activities that are not connecting to your proposal. Put things that are relevant, and you must be able to justify whatever you put. Tie it to measurable output. You must be able to tie each of your activities to measurable outputs. The next slide. Okay, your output and outcome. I just quickly need to add this for you so that you know what output and outcome is. Outputs, I said, short-time deliverables after your project activity. So you train, 3,000 youths trained, 300 startup incubated, 900 youths placed in job. These are your outputs. It's happening immediately after you deliver the specific activity. And the outcome of that is by training 3,000 people, you earn or youth income or whatever you've trained them on, has increased, right? Young people now are now earning more, at least by 60% after the program. You've reduced unemployment, all of those stuff are now your outcomes, the media terms of your project. All right. Next slide. Oh, I'm very sorry. It's a lot. You asked for a master class, actually. I'm sorry. Okay, sustainability and scalability. Again, I promised you I was going to talk about sustainability, and this is where I can really quickly touch on it now. It's a long-term model. So we always advise organizations to have a separate or a broader sustainability plan that is different from the one you even want to use on your projects. So, and you must ensure that every of your projects aligns with your sustainability plans. Let donors see that you can continue this project even if they leave you, or there's a way you can mitigate and still come up with something. Again, issues of revenue and partnership pathways. You must also, oh, okay, we can partner with XYZ to continue this project. We get partnerships, just let them know. Design a partnership pathway that will help, for everything you said you want to do. And lastly on that, integration into the ecosystem, very important. Your project must be designed in a way or structured in a way that it's easily integrated. It's something that can be easily integrated. And when you put some of these things together for donor, it's aligned so well with them. The next slide, please. Thank you. And again, sorry, I'm rounding up now. Organization profile and track record. Okay, so I will not dwell. I think, again, I've written an article on this on LinkedIn. Please, you see, I'm just recommending a lot of articles now because I don't really have time to explain. But you can read and and get some clear pictures on how to design, craft your organization profile. But again, for purpose of learning here, credibility lets your organization profile shows that you're credible, you are registered and all of that. You have everything required by the law, and you have the credibility of what you're doing or the stakeholders you're working with. Evidence of impact. Let your profile reflect your impact. Talk about it. Shaping now your okay. So let me try to speak a bit of pidgin. Now your work. So make your noise, blow your trumpet. Don't say I don't want them to know. Let me say it small. Say it big, because when they don't see that you have done a lot and you are coming to them, they will know that they are supporting someone that is relevant and has the capacity to work, than just someone that is not ready or willing to work or doesn't have the evidence. You're just making noise on things that are not there. So blow your trumpet, talk about your work. If you've won grant before, tell them that we have credibility in managing grants because we've worked with XYZ, FCDO, Gate Foundation, MacArthur. Mention the organization if they are requesting for. I know NED, National Endowment for Democracy application. On the application, they will request for you to even write the amounts and the money you've won before. So talk about this thing and what makes you unique. Talk about your unique value. Next slide. I that should be okay. So your budget, you must be transparent. Your budget must be realistic. Funder aligned line item. Funder aligned line items. Very important. That's why you should read, spend time to understand what the funders want. The budget can be summarized or asked in detail. So depends on what specifically the funders want. They can ask you for a summary budget or a detailed budget. Your budget justification must be included. Not just put budget and say, let me put 5 million. Maybe they know they here. They are there because someone, as you are praying that their eyes will not see your mistake, the person that is reviewing your work is just coming out of 7 days fasting and prayer. So you see that it's not an easy thing. So guys, do things the right way. Okay, do things the right way. Justify your budgets and ensure you're doing that. I put that example for you just to, this is summary. This is not a complete budget. Please don't ever say you are using this. I'm just putting it there. It's just summarized budget. And the lines item, I just added it. The next slide, please. Risk and mitigation, these are always very important. So put in your proposal or in your grants or concept notes. Risk, what are the risks? Operational risk, financial risk, market risk, inflation around the market risk or financial risk, operation, probably insecurity in all of this. And you have to talk about how you mitigate it. How do you solve this risk and you still go ahead to do your programs or projects and you balance it up. Maybe governments, and any of these risks, outline or highlight some of the risk and ensure you have the best way to mitigate, some of this stuff. Next slide. No. Is that okay? Thank you so much, guys. Yes, these are some of the articles. I think there's basic of grant writing. That's a YouTube video that I've done, written a bit of articles around some of this stuff. You may please go ahead and read them. And the last slide, I think that's the thank you slide. I'm sorry, I have to be at the speed of light. And apologies for taking your time. Thank you so much, guys, for this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alfred Akewili. Thank you very much for that very comprehensive session. Throughout the session, emphasize the tools to grant writing. There was readiness, clarity, and strategy. And thank you very much for explaining it fully. So we'll go on to a brief Q&A session. So we're taking very few questions because of our time. I have one here already from Favor, and I've already seen some questions also pertaining to that line. So they are asking, is it compulsory for you to have a registered organization before getting access to grants? And I would like to add that if there is an opportunity for individuals to have access and also win grants, how can they best position themselves to winning those grants? Thank you very much.
Okay, so quick one to that. It's not compulsory you you register your organization to win some certain grants. The importance of registering your organization is because you want to win grants that are really substantial. No donor will pay. I doubt with the current trends of things in the ecosystem, if a donor can pay $10,000 to your account, I doubt. So, except it's in strictly individual grants, please, strictly individual grant, like the NYFF individual grant, they pay directly to your account. You don't need to register any organization. But because of financial integrity, credibility, transparency, and accountability, you need to audit your account and the like. So there are organizations that takes exception for you that, oh, don't register, but you can have another organization that can take the money for you, this and that. There are few exceptions to that here and there, but it's always good to register your organization. And if you're applying for individual grant, how well do you position yourself? You say, I told you I've won before, and I've seen, I have a lot of mentees that have won individual grant before. So how do you position yourself? I mentioned it in passing the other time. I said, your digital footprint should speak well about you, about the kind of person you are. Whether it's on Facebook, you said you are Mr. XYZ, and I got to Facebook, I'm seeing Mr. ABC. It's very far from issue, right? So you should be able to show us that you have that credibility. Talk about the kind of work you've done. Maybe you are in school, or while you were in school, or currently still a student. You're leading the SDG. I've mentored a lot of guys on the Leap Africa project. I think it's out now. You may also want to check for it online. There's a Leap Africa project that allows for 18 to 25 for thereabouts for people that are in school. So if you have a project initiative, I think I've been mentored on the project for 4 years now. So if you have a project or initiative you want to be, just get one or two persons together in your school and write about it, submit. You will get funding and it will be paid directly to your account. So, but you have to talk about the kind of work you do, sell yourself, market yourself, talk about your track record, how you've been able to mobilize across, whether it's health related, public health, or civic engagement in your school, how you've been able to, mobilize girls to go for SCG elections and the likes, right? So talk about yourself, talk about your competency, your capacity, just put yourself all out there and say it in a way that it will be verifiable. You can't tell me you've been doing something for 5 years and I can't see it anywhere, not even on your Facebook, not even on your Instagram or your LinkedIn, right? You can't tell me you've been doing something for even 1 year and I can't find it anywhere. So talking about yourself in a way that is verifiable and they can say, oh, okay, yeah, this guy, we can give money. And for individual. But if you're an organization, I think I would advise you, go and register your organization, get your account. Donor will want to pay to your account. Till I mean, as at now in Nigeria, even in Global South, whether Global South or Global North, I doubt if there is any donor that will want to pay anything to your personal account. If it's not individual grant, I doubt. Not just try as much as possible, register so that your money can come straight to you. If it's going to another organization, they can tell you, we'll take 10%, we'll take 20%. That can also lead to some bit of issues around finances and the like. So that would be my question. I don't know if I addressed that, Aisha.
Yes, sir, you did. Thank you very much. You've mentioned about building credibility through verifiable stories and making use of social media for individuals, and then for organizations, they should make sure to register their organization. Thank you very much. So another question I have here is about building long-term relationships. So you mentioned building long-term relationships with your donor. So Peace is asking what steps can be taken to learn how to build those relationships.
Okay, building relationships. I said it the other time. Never should they make it transactional and don't. Oh, okay. So let me use the best word, and I'm sorry for using this. Don't build beggarly relationship with any donor. Build relationship as a stakeholder and partner. So I tell people, never should you build beggarly relationship. Build partnership relationship. Let me tell you the honest truth here. Every donor needs you the way you need them. Let me repeat it. Every donor needs you the way you need them. Yes, they have the money, but they need you to implement. Have you asked yourself that these guys, they have all the monies in the world, but they are still doing call for application? Is it that they can't do it themselves? No, but they need you because you have the grassroots knowledge, you have the local knowledge and the local understanding of what you're really doing, right? So they need you. So build relationship like partners and not somebody that is just going there to beg and beg, give us money. Oh. We have one problem we want to go and solve. Tomorrow you are there again. So that's the first thing. The second thing is invite them for your program. Follow up. Extend the relationship to transit from being formal to informal. When you meet for the first time, you can have formal conversation, but there's a way relationship will transcend from being formal to informal. I got a grant, a 100,000 euro grant, a few years ago, working with an organization that I used to work with. Because of that level of relationship, a relationship that started formal now transits to informal, and now I'm able to now leverage that. Oh, hi friend, is there any opportunity for us in your organization? And the person said, why not? Send a concept note. And from there, I got 100,000 euros to be spent within 3-4 months. That's one of many grants. So you need to develop to that extent and invite them for your program. If you're an organization here, you've met people in conferences, in workshops, in trainings, and you know they can be of great benefit to you in terms of grants. Invite them for your programs. Ask them to be your guest speaker. Just keep engaging them. Let them see the kind of work you do. You are having your your review meetings or brainstorming. Bring them in if they are within, right? So that's how to build relationships. And of course, when they invite you for a program, go, just keep exchanging ideas. Just see them as partners and not people that are, buzzing you down. No. So build that kind of relationship and it's going to work than just today you meet somebody, immediately you're meeting, you're asking for money. It's not going to work that way. All right, Aisha.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So you advocate, you build a partnership relationship, try to drive win-win relationship with your stakeholders and donors. So I have a question here. It says, what is the place of using AI in grant writing?
Oh. I'll try to run from this question, but I know it was going to come somewhere. All right, guys. My answer is old school, but I will still say it. So, as a grant writer with my year of experience and the kind of things I've been able to achieve within this space, I would say don't use AI to write. I know someone is going to come for me. But that's the truth. Don't start. Okay, so let me balance it. You can use AI to write, but I've written a lot of maybe articles now, piece, work, and I remember I was writing an article years ago, and I prompted AI, ChatGPT specifically, and it brought wrong data to me. I was able to know that it was wrong data because I know what I was writing on, right? So the problem with our generation and the problem with the emergence of AI is that people just pick whatever AI is giving them, hook, line, sinker, dish it out. But I've seen people send me emails. This is not, to talk down on anyone, but of course, I wasn't going to mention them. But I've seen people send me emails and prompted ChatGPT, copied directly like that, the way it came out, and sent it to me. I've seen people submitted application like that also. I said I reveal lots. I've seen people, and when you look at it, you're definitely going to know that this is AI, right? And I will tell you the reason why. The architectural framework of AI is not designed like it's not built for Africa, for Nigeria. Now that we are just having some guys that are now coming up with Nigeria-based fabricated AIs, it's just in recent time, late 2025 to now 2026 and going forward. So because the AIs you want to use doesn't understand the real Africa framework, language, and governance, you're right. It's not built in that direction. They will definitely give you foreign tune. So if they give you foreign tune, you can't use a foreign tune to answer a Nigeria problem. That's the problem of AI. So when I say no, don't write. No, yeah, you can write if you understand prompting, you understand how you can tailor it. But the challenge is this: if you for instance, there are organizations that will give you templates of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. How many of those ones do you want to write with AI? So you must be able to understand that AI in grant writing is complementary and not absolute. Yes, I'm aware some people are working around it. There's grantable AI, and other AIs that people are working on to become grant writers and so on. But you need to understand that if you are using Gemini, you're using DeepSeek, ChatGPT, and some of these AI, they are not framed in the context of Africa or Nigeria. Now they are improving, trying all their best to improve. But the problem is, since it's not framed in our context, if you prompt in that context, you will not get the right result. So it's easier for me now to pick anything AI, because I don't even need to use AI detector to pick, because I can easily understand from the tune that this is purely AI and it's not human, because it's not framed that way. So it's a bit tricky. If you know the best, yes, but let me say this, and on good authority, do not start grant writing with AI. A grant writer is a researcher. And if you are not good at researching, at writing, you will not be a good grant writer, even if you use AI. So see yourself as someone that is a researcher. You read a lot of materials, review a lot of materials to write convincingly, and know that you are a researcher. With that, you can. But well, if you think you've undergone a lot of trainings on prompting and other things, you can use it to design your concept notes, which is 1 or 2 pager, but it is still, I trained, like I said, I trained every week, and I trained a lot of organization. One of the organization I was training, I think last month, I gave them an assignment, and people went, used AI, came back, and I started pointing it out. I said, this is AI. This is AI. Because there's a way the AI will write grant for you. You will know that this does not exist anywhere in Nigeria, guys. Right? So I was able, and in all honesty, if you prompt bilateral organization today, AI will still bring the likes of USAID, DFID. I mean, those organizations are dead, but because it's not framed in our language, they will still bring it. And if you don't know, you will still replicate it in your in the kind of work you do. So that's my submission. Yeah, if you think you know it, you can prompt, you can challenge it, you can just, I will advise you to use it to start your concept notes, but never should you submit that way and just copy and paste, clean it up and say no. We must sit over it and correct things that need to be correct and adapt it to the Nigeria team. In fact, adapt it to your region team. Maybe you're in South. I mean, there are things that are not generic in Nigeria. There are things that are region specific in Nigeria, right? So if you just prompt in broadly, it will give you a broader, not connected context, and donor will definitely flag it up. I hope I am able to respond and not offend anybody. Thank you.
Not at all. Thank you very much, sir. So that will be all the questions that we'll be taking. We're very grateful for you sharing your time, your expertise, your resources. Thank you very much. So, advocates, if you have any more questions, you can definitely reach him on LinkedIn. So his LinkedIn handle is Alfred Akerele. So you definitely find him. And also, please check out the resources and all the articles that he has mentioned. Thank you very much for your time, sir. We're very grateful. Thank you very much for the interactive and the powerfully packed masterclass.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank everyone from YouTube, from everywhere.
Hey.
Thank you, guys. I can see some issues around AI on YouTube, but enjoy it, guys. I truly appreciate this opportunity. It's an honor. It's an honor. Truly appreciate the leadership and everyone. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. So we're honored to have you. Thank you very much. So moving on, I will move on to a brief information session. I would like to invite Mr. Adiola Oluwabukumi, the project lead for SDSN Youth Nigeria, to take their information session. Mr. Adiola.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you so much for anchoring this session. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, you're very audible.
Thank you. I think the advocate will agree with me that we've delivered, as promised. This session is everything you need to survive this phase 2 of this program. And I would like to say congratulations to all you qualified advocates. I mean, the session was so rich. It was so enlightening. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Alfred and Mrs. Wonderful for it shows that you took your time to. This is a master class, just like Mr. Alfred said, it's a master class. So very quickly, our time is fast spent, and I will not want to waste any much time. And we're also using this opportunity, this medium, to appreciate all you qualified advocate for staying till this moment. This session actually started at 3 p.m. Yeah, so it's been 3 hours. It's been an amazing 3 hours with you guys. Just some quick announcement as we move on. This is going to be the only masterclass for this month. Yes, the next masterclass is going to be in June, and that's for the advocates who would have qualified for the phase 3 of the program. And just like we also mentioned, this is the second phase of the program, which we call the lead and SDG phase. Yeah, let me just put it that way. So this is where you get to put into practice what you've been learning from the first masterclass till this masterclass. You are expected to embark on a project, and by now, you should have filled a form that has been shared with you on the Discord group. What we're expecting you to do is to fill that form, create a proposal on what you want to implement. And this year, we made it so good that we are not even streamlining you to just one SDG like we normally do in the past. What we tell our advocates to just go to a school and create awareness and that. So this time, we're expanding the scope. We're allowing you to play around all the 17 SDGs, the one that you feel aligns most to your interest. I mean, the one that you feel you are most passionate about. Create something cool around it, something creative, something that you can deliver in the next. This is today's 8th of May already, so we are roughly 22 days, or let me say 23 days. Yeah, the month is till 34, so you have roughly 23 days to make sure that you submit your proposal. I mean, you submit your project submission now. So if you fill the form, you would have seen the things that we highlighted as criteria for this phase 2. The project you are picking, it must be creative, it must be bespoke, and it must not be cost intensive. I'll be reiterating that it must not be cost intensive, because we are not going to be funding, we are not going to be supporting any project as such. And that's why we've also shared the letter of introduction with you to be able to play with. I mean, if you're able to seek partnership, if you're able to seek funding, you can use the letter of introduction to introduce yourself as an advocate who is currently under this program. But we are going to be advising you, highly encouraging you that you should try and go for a project that will not cost you so much, that will even not cost you anything if possible. Make sure that you submit your proposal, what you think around that you can easily implement, and wait for our feedback. So you should get feedback by today's Friday. On or before Monday, all advocates who have made submissions should receive a feedback from us. Either your proposal is approved or not approved. So it can only be two things. It's either it is approved or not approved. If it is not approved, then you will have to fill the form again. So we will notify you when to start filling the form again. So it means that you have to come up with another idea, except if you don't want to qualify for the next phase. So if your project is approved, by the time you get that feedback, then the next thing is for you to start implementing so that you can submit your the report of your proposal now. That I mean the report of your implementation, so you can start submitting. You're also going to be sharing that with us next week. So you're able to also see the things that we need from you in terms of report. Yeah, it's an open project, but there are things that we're also going to be checking. We need to see evidence, we need to see the impact you are going to make with your project. So we are going to be sharing the proposal, the project submission form with you now. So you're able to see all the things that we're expecting and you work towards that. The submission form will close on May 31st so that we can invite those that will be qualifying to the phase 3 of the program, like almost immediately. Once again, I would like to congratulate you all qualified advocates. It's been a journey. I mean, this is something we've started together since the month of April, and I must commend you for your dedication, your passion, and your commitment to doing this. And like I said, you will agree with me that this program is actually delivering as we promised. A lot of knowledge-filled sessions, a lot of information. I really hope that you can get back. I mean, you will get back to all this recording and digest them at your convenience. Yes, I mean, you could have missed a whole lot, maybe your internet, your network issues, or maybe technical issues, but make sure that you always go back to watch this recording. It's available on the YouTube. Yeah, the recording will be made available as usual. So make sure that you go back to always digest these recordings from the session. Thank you so much. Yeah, over to you, Aisha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abdullah, for that information. So I have quick announcements just to reiterate what is already said. Our next masterclass will take place on Friday, June 5. So kindly note that and stay engaged on your Discord channel in the meantime. We would also like to remind everyone that the submission for phase 2 project closes on May 31st. Please ensure to submit before the deadline. We also encourage you to be creative and intentional with your lead and SDG project. Think beyond completing a task and focus on creating something meaningful and impactful within your community. Ensure that your process is properly documented, ask questions whenever you need clarity, and most importantly, design projects that truly address real needs and create sustainable impacts. We're excited to see the ideas and solutions you come up with. So now let's take a moment to reflect on today's session. In our first session with Ms. Wonderful, we explored project management and monitoring for social impact, gaining practical insights into how effective planning, accountability, and evaluation can strengthen advocacy initiatives. In our second session with Mr. Kerele, we examined grant writing and proposal development for SDG projects, learning how to craft compelling proposals, secure funding, and design projects that deliver measurable results. Together, these sessions have equipped us not only to advocate for change, but to build sustainable projects and mobilize the resources needed to bring our ideas to life. Thank you all for your active participation and engagement throughout today's session. Thank you all for your comments, for your suggestions, for the energy in the comment section. Thank you all. And thank you very much to our speakers, to the entire team. Thank you all. That's for today, everyone. Thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session.